Hey guys, we are live. Hey, we are live. Shout out to everybody, the Dominican Route family. Shout out to Nikki. It's so good to see you.
You too.
Hey guys.
Hey Junior, good to see you.
Hey,
Rico, it's good to see you. And we have a special guest. I have been talking to this brother for about 3 years. I met him in San Cristobal, and we're gonna jump right into it. We're gonna let him take over first, but he helped me out a lot on the beach when we used to do tours and stuff like that. And we just gonna call him Julie. And he,
Junior.
yeah, Julie, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm going great.
Good, good.
Things is a
So
little bit, things is a little bit hard, but when you're a man, you have to stay strong.
that's right, that's right. So tell everybody what's your goal and what's your story and where you from. And of course, I met you in the Dominican Republic, but kind of start from the beginning.
Yeah. So I'm from Haiti actually, but before I come to Dominican, I was in I was in Curacao. I stayed like for 2 years in Curacao. So my mom was living in Curacao,
Hmm.
and then since Curacao, she got a visa to go to the U.S. She went to the U.S. and then I was illegally in Curacao, and then I have to like go back to my country. So I just go back to Haiti. So since I'm working in Haiti in 2016,
Hmm.
I had a friend of me who was living in Punta Cana, and
Hmm.
then he told me like, if you can find work like in Haiti, I know you're very smart. Like if you come over here, you can find job and stuff. You're gonna make your money.
So how did you get there? Did you do it the regular way? Did you do it the legal way, or did you do it the illegal way? You just crossed.
Uh, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, want to do it like legally, like to get a visa and stuff. But to get a visa is very difficult,
Hmm.
and the visa is very expensive. It's like $700-800,
Hmm.
and then like sometimes you pay the money. Sometimes you give up people like the money with your passport, like to go put the visa for you.
Hmm.
Like you just take the money and you lose your passport and stuff, and then that's why I have to do it like illegally. But this was in 2016, like the things like was like fastly.
Gotcha, gotcha. Let me ask you
So
a
so
quick question. Is it
yeah,
is it true that a lot of Haitians can get fake fake passports or fake visas to come to the Dominican Republic?
yeah, sometimes they give the people a fake visa, but you don't since you got money,
To
you
do
don't
that.
need you don't need any visa to come to the Dominican Republic.
Okay, so what's the best way, and then we're gonna jump into how you got to Mexico. What's the best way and the easiest way to get to the Dominican Republic from Haiti? And how much does it cost?
Let me see, like when I'm
Illegally,
there.
illegally.
I'm illegally for right now, because the thing is like gonna be tighter right now. Right now, they take like 20,000 peso, like
That's
$350.
okay. That's what Manuel said. Manuel said $300, right? Y'all, he said
Yeah,
350 dollars. Yep, that's right. So,
yeah.
and then who do you give the money to, and how do do they usually get over?
I mean, you just give. They have a contact, right? You just give the money to this person, and then this person will do everything. Like just put you on the bus, and then when they're gonna stop you at the checkpoint.
Hmm.
I know the driver sometimes like they talk to the military people.
Okay,
You
okay.
know they have
Got
the things they have their own thing they do.
gotcha. They got a system. Cool, cool.
Yeah, they got a system.
Go ahead, Rico.
So let me ask you a question. So for the most part, just clearly, um, when you guys are crossing over the border into the Dominican Republic, most is the majority of the people sneaking across, or the majority of the people paying to get in?
Can you repeat the question for me
So,
again?
so when say the Haitians trying to cross over into the Dominican Republic, like in the U.S., there's a combination. Nobody pays to get. Well, I'm not aware of. Most of them sneak across the border. They don't pay Americans to get in. They sneak across the border. But I know in the DR that there's a problem with a lot of military at the border taking the money, like you said, letting Haitians into the country. I'm trying to get a gauge. Is that the way most people get in? They pay, corrupt people that let them
Yeah,
cross,
it
or do
is.
they
It is.
cross?
That's the way that most people get in. Though. I'm not gonna lie to you because
Okay.
you know it's like a little bit difficult to get a visa too, and then the situation right now in Haiti is like very bad. You know, you don't want to get like in Haiti right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you like, if you want to get, if you don't want to get killed, you have to get out to Haiti because you can even work.
Wow, that's sad.
Right? Sometimes it's not the like the gang people, it's the police though.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The police sometimes like one example, if I born like in Port-au-Prince,
Mm-hmm.
like I got my house in Port-au-Prince, like I spend my whole life in Port-au-Prince, so I don't want anywhere else to go.
Yeah.
So when they take you out, like you don't know where to go, and then if the police like they came in there like in the neighborhood, and then they find you, they're not gonna even ask you anything, like they just kill you,
Wow. Wow.
right?
Yeah. So a lot of times we always hear it's just the gangs are doing the killing and stuff, but it's the Haitian police sometimes also.
No, sometimes they say the gang, though. Sometimes like the news they say gang, but sometimes it's not like all the gangsters, the police they do their own thing.
Right.
Can I ask you a question? So
Yes.
when you first crossed the border, how long were you in the Dominican Republic?
It was since 2016.
Oh, okay. So in all that time, I'm sure you worked while you were there, right?
Yeah, of
Yeah.
What
course.
what type of work did you do while you were there?
Yeah, like I was like always speaking like some like English and French and stuff. I
Hmm.
was just in sales. I was in sales. I was sales yeah. I don't know if you know about the national stone from this time from the Dominican Republic.
No, I don't. But
The blue, you said stone, the blue stone,
Yeah,
right?
they have a blue
okay,
stone. Read the,
Yeah.
yeah, read
yeah, yeah,
the,
okay, I
the
know.
And well, what is that called, y'all? What is it called?
That's the
Laramie,
Yeah,
Laramie,
Laramie.
Laramie,
yeah,
Right.
Larimal.
Yes.
Laramie.
So that means the people that hired you, they knew your status, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Did
Yeah, but
they? Mhm.
I hear like I can say that like if you speak English, I mean you can speak. You smart. I mean, if it's not at the hotel,
Mhm.
you don't have to get a like paper to get a work and stuff. You just
Okay,
working. You just do the work.
right. So they not that was my next question. So they really not checking for
No,
cedula.
they really,
They
they
kind
really
of
check.
know that your status is illegal, but they know they can pay you cheaper.
Yeah, yeah, things like that.
Okay, because that's what I was saying when I asked in the first thing they always tell us is, "Oh, you got to have a cedula. You got to have a cedula." And it's like, okay, you can't get a job without a cedula. But I'm like, all these Haitians are working; they ain't got cedulas.
Right.
So I just wanted confirmation that evidently these businesses have got to know that y'all status is illegal, and yet they're still hiring you.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
So
so
now,
glad you brought that up. That
yeah.
that is
Go
a
ahead.
great point. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I
Mhm.
never even thought to mention that or ask that.
Yeah,
Thank you for that. Wow.
they know.
So now getting into our topic for today, we're gonna let you lead us into it, brother. So, all right. So I know your goal is to, get in the United States and work and have a better life in the United States. So now you are in Mexico. So kind of give us the breakdown on what you have to do from the Dominican Republic to get to Mexico.
I just like saved some money. I was working, very hard,
Hmm.
save some money, and then I was need like $3,500, like to get everything, like to get the visa and then to buy the ticket and everything. I just, sometimes I
What type
hear
of,
like
and this
my
might
word
sound, oh, I'm sorry. This might sound stupid. What type of visa did you get?
is just like a transit visa.
Okay, from the Dominican Republic or from the Haiti?
No, no, I mean it's a transit visa, like the Panama
Okay,
transit visa.
gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I traveled from Haiti to Panama because I can't travel from Dominican Republic because I'm legal. They
Gotcha.
never. Yeah,
Sorry. Okay, you can go. Keep going. I'm sorry. Okay.
yeah. So like I told you guys, when I get to Panama, I just go to Nicaragua, and Nicaragua go to Guatemala and get to Mexico. It wasn't easy, but I made it.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah. So and that's all on. Of course, is a boat or airplane? I just got to ask that.
Yeah, it wasn't easy because I get from Haiti, I take like 7 days to get to Mexico.
Wow. Okay. And,
Yeah.
and and was any of the trips, or was all of them on the airplane, or was some of them on the boat?
And the like when I get to Haiti to Panama, it was in a plane, and then also when I get to Panama to Nicaragua, it was in a plane, and then the rest it was in a car, in a boat, walk and stuff.
Gotcha. 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 Go ahead, Rico, Nikki, Junior.
Excuse me. Um, I've heard stories of people crossing and not making it. At any time, did you have that fear?
So I'm like that. I'm very positive, like in everything I'm doing. Like when I'm go doing something, I say I'm gonna make it. Like
Awesome.
anything, I'm gonna make it.
Yep. That's
That's
right. That's
good.
right.
And always putting God first, because without Him, nothing's possible.
So now getting to the topic. So what are you going to do? Are you now your last goal is to get to the United States. So what are you planning on doing to get to the United States?
But John, let me ask him
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
one quick question before you get that. So, I know you said you left from Port-au-Prince, and I'm assuming you're making this journey alone. Did you leave any family back home like you're? It seems like to me when people take such a
Yeah,
big risk like this, they're doing it to feed their family back home, their mother, their wife, their children. So I'm just trying to figure out what's the
yeah.
motivation for you to go through all of this. Is it family back
When
home, or is it just yourself?
when I come from like Port-au-Prince to come to the DR, like I almost got like any kids, any woman, and any girlfriends, nothing. So when I get to the Dominican Republic, I hear when you by yourself, like it's really very difficult like to be by yourself because I hear, you don't have to do anything. Like sometimes you was like walk in the street and then police just take you. If you don't have anybody like to come get you at the police station, you gotta stay high or they might like put something on you, like you say, Like you just doing something, or they might send you an aid. And then that's why when I came here, like after 3 years, I'm not after 3 years, like 3, 4 years, uh, I had a wife, not a wife, I had a woman, and then we just living together. We made a beautiful daughter. I got a beautiful daughter.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And then I left my daughter in DR
Okay.
and
Gotcha.
her mom. I left from my daughter in DR and mom, but I don't left like any family in Haiti because my mom is passed away, my dad is passed away. I got a brother. He's I got a brother. He's in Haiti. He's like I don't talk to him like much because he's a little bit far from me, right? So we don't like get a contact together.
Gotcha.
He's my,
So let's
I'm like
go.
by myself. I'm not by myself. Listen,
So so tell us about how you planning on getting into the United States.
yeah, I just like waiting for my appointment. I'm applying CBP 1, like just waiting for the appointment.
Hmm.
And then since I get it, I got a cousin who is living in Nebraska.
Okay. And what is it
And
called again? I didn't hear you. It was the CB1 you said?
CBP 1.
CBP1. Okay, I've never heard of that. Okay, gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
it's custom border protection.
Yeah, CBP is Custom Border Patrol.
Yeah,
Okay,
custom border. Yeah,
gotcha,
I
gotcha.
just
Is that temporary or is that how long does that last or is it like a job?
sometimes you get the appointment after 3, 4 months. Sometimes you get it after 15 days. They don't have a time, but you're not gonna take a year,
Gotcha,
right?
gotcha.
You're not gonna take a year, and then since you get it, you just go to the border, and
And
then you got the I mean they're gonna send you an email. I mean with the email, you just go to the border, and then you just show them the email, and then they ask you question and everything, and then they give you your I-94,
yeah,
and
gotcha.
then
And I respect how you went there and you in Mexico, but why couldn't you have done that in another country? You had to do it in Mexico?
no. So if I can get to the US, I'll just stay in Mexico. Just
I,
get yeah. Just
I got and work
I,
and work in
actually
Mexico.
actually I'm gonna process like to get a residence. Right.
Hmm.
So if I get the residence, like if I can go back to the US, I just stay in Mexico, work, you know, live, just make my life in Mexico.
Gotcha.
I love the Dominican Republic. I love the Dominican Republic is very nice country, but the things I don't love about the Dominican Republic is because like the people they think like every Haitian is bad though. You know, it's not like
They think you.
everybody think like that. It's not everybody think like that, but most people like they think like we are bad. They think like we came here. It's because we don't want to stay in a country. We want to stay in Haiti. Me, if my country was like security, I don't have any trouble. I just stay in my country, just work, make money because I'm in my country.
Right.
I'm not gonna come in Dominican like get into jail, just doing anything, you get into jail. Wow.
Do you have a lot of friends that work in the Dominican Republic and then they get deported back? Does that happen a lot?
Of course. Of
Yeah.
course.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, that's very bad. But sometimes they deport them, one example right now, and they come back after 6 hours.
Really?
Yeah, it's like that.
They can. So you've heard of a Haitian getting deported and 5, 6 hours later, he's back in the Dominican Republic.
Of course. Of the next day, they coming
Wow.
back.
Next day. Cool. Y'all got any questions before we let him go? Before we jump into the main topic?
Yeah, I got a question.
Go ahead, Junior.
What are your plans? Once you get to United States, do you have
My
long-term plans, or would you ever go back to Haiti if things did change?
Yeah, of course. Like I'm gonna go to the US. Like find like go school to learn something very good because I love like immigration things. I love these kind of things. So I'm gonna learn about immigration and stuff. And then if I can get a good work, make money. I got a plan like to go to United States to live for 6 years. After 6 years, I'm gonna go back to my country.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
not gonna stay in the US.
Okay.
Make some money. That's smart. That's smart.
Yeah, that's
Nikki,
my plan.
Nikki, you got any questions before we let him go and we jump into the topic?
Yeah, I think I probably missed it, but did he mention if he is there with someone in Mexico? I missed that part.
No, he's by himself. I believe
Okay.
that's what
Yeah,
I heard.
yeah. I'm with a friend. I'm with a friend actually in Mexico.
Okay.
He was living in Dominican also. Was
Okay.
yeah, we made it together. Then we stayed together. Like,
Did you also mention earlier how your English is really great? So did you mention that as well earlier?
mm, no,
Yeah.
I like going to school actually in Haiti.
Gotcha. How did you learn how to speak English so well?
I mean, in Haiti, and then I was working in tourist like when I was in Dominican Republic. So a lot of tourists like talk. I was working up there. I don't know if you know this hotel. I was working on Dreams,
Mm-hmm.
and then Dreams. A lot of American like coming Dreams, and then that's keeping talking English like every day, talking English every day. You know.
Well, man, hey brother, we not gonna hold you. I'm gonna give you a holler tomorrow, man. It was the Dominican Route family. We appreciate you coming on and just sharing your story, and we wish you the best, man, in the future.
Thank you so much, guys.
All
Thank
right, man.
you.
And then hey, and you got to keep us posted in the future and let us know what's going on with
Of
what.
course, man. Of course. I got your number. Sounds good. So, have a nice to meet you guys. God
Nice
bless
Yeah.
meeting
you.
you. Best
All
of
right,
luck.
brother.
Good.
Take care, brother. Talk to you later. Bye bye.
Bye.
Wow, that was awesome. Okay, so I met him. I don't know if a lot of people. We got 35 people on right now, but I met him on one of the tours, and we stayed in contact. And just a nice brother. But he's in Mexico now, and we wish him the best. And yeah, so that's an amazing story. You hear a whole bunch of stories like that, but you never really get a chance to interview people like that. So that was some good questions. I didn't want to make him uncomfortable. I told him to switch his name. I know his real name, but I just know it's tough. He from all the way to the Dominican Republic to Mexico, so we don't want to mess that up. So wish him the best. All right, Rico, what you got? What you got, brother?
Well, like I said, I wish that brother the best. I know it's gonna be tough sailing.
Mm-hmm.
He said in 3-4 months. I don't see it happening after Tuesday. I'm
Exactly.
just keeping it real.
Especially with Trump. Yeah.
I ain't trying to bust nobody's bubble,
Right.
but people don't know the shit that's about to come down the pipe,
Right.
and it's dead ass serious.
Well, what about? I know it is, Rico, but what about that? Whatever he's thinking about getting, you think Trump
I
is
don't
going
care
to?
what he's thinking about getting.
No. That paperwork, is it going to be
John,
tougher?
John, I don't care what he's thinking about getting.
Mm-hmm.
For the shit that they are about to unleash,
Mm-hmm.
as far as around immigration in particular. They have been. Do you guys realize that? And I get it. Like, I'm glad everybody's happy and celebrate for him. I don't have nobody that I'm trying to get as an immigrant over.
Right.
So it's not I'm saying he's gonna shut shit down.
Yeah.
And I'm just being clear about that. So I'm like, if immigration is your issue, you're fucked.
Right.
You're fucked certainly for the next 4 years and possibly even longer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, y'all forgot when he won the first time, he said day one, Muslim ban. And I think he struck off about 8 or 9 countries just with a stroke of a pen and executive order. And that shit went into effect. And these were people who had green cards that was overseas that couldn't get back into the U.S.
Gotcha.
See, but a lot of times because it don't affect you, people don't think about it. I knew about it then. It was all into the wheel. But I'm like, it's going to be more than just Muslim this time.
Right. I agree.
If your ass ain't white, it's about to get tight. It's just that simple.
I love it.
No, it's true because I was actually when was it this morning? Top 3 things that that Trump wants to change.
Yeah.
He wants to bring back, like you were saying, that ban, with certain countries. That's top. He was also talking about, stopping much paperwork that's being put in for people to get asylum. They're gonna make it harder.
Yep.
To get asylum.
Exactly.
So that's something that's definitely gonna
be
tougher.
I guarantee you what they can do. Like, people don't realize, right? When you do immigration, right, and if you're in the DR, the first thing you need to get is a visa.
Right.
And you have to get a visa from the U.S. government. He fitting to turn that shit off. See, so he don't even have to change the law. All he has to do is say for certain countries, okay, where maybe they was doing 200,000 a year or 100 or 50 or 100,000 a year from the DR, he'll tell them cut that shit down to 5,000. He will so severely restrict the numbers alone, and they can just do that.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't have the Congress pushing back and banging on him, and he didn't just win the presidency, they won the fucking Senate.
Right.
And I think they're about to get the House. He is about to have unified.
I heard they already got the House too. I don't know.
Then y'all really fucked.
Right.
So for these next 2 years, and the Supreme Court already told him he can do whatever he wants. So for the next 2 years, he might be walking around smacking motherfuckers because you can't do anything to him. He can't run again.
Right.
So he don't care about that. And you got to understand this. He told them he was doing mass deportation and people voted for him. So now for them to sit back and clutch their pearls like, I can't believe it. Believe it, motherfucker. It's coming. And I don't care.
Right. Right. Now
I don't care because y'all asked for it.
But let's get to let's ask the Dominican and then we'll jump over to Nikki. Junior, why do you think so many Latinos voted for Donald Trump? What's your opinion?
Wow.
I put you on the spot.
Kind of, yeah, but
shout out to Easy. Thank you for the super chat, brother. Thank you. I voted for Trump. Hold on. I'm sorry. Everybody know you voted for Trump.
Exactly. He been beating that drum for 3 years. He waiting to rub that shit in my face.
Thank you for the super chat. Go ahead, Junior.
I just think, for those that did voted for Trump, I feel like they're forgetting where they came from. Forgetting where the struggle that they all that they went through to cross those borders, let's say coming from Salvador, Honduras, that sacrifice that the trips, the sacrifices, your family, leaving your family behind, everything, to go and vote for someone that don't care about sending you back. it's I don't even know how. I don't have words, honestly.
But do
To
you think it
describe
had
it.
some? Do you think it had something to do with Latinos thinking that women are less than? Do you think it? Because I hear that I hear that sometimes.
No, but I think she was more pro immigrants than Donald Trump.
Mm, okay, yeah.
You know,
Yeah. And I heard two things. I heard a lot of Latinos like the old way of women are in the household, cooking, cleaning, taking care of the children. And then number two, I heard that a lot of Latinos are tired of the homosexuality and the gay stuff. And
no, that is true, and that's one thing here in Dominican Republic. I've seen it since I was young. That woman, supposedly a woman's place supposed to be in the house, whatever. Like you ain't supposed to, have no authorities. Which to me, that's something that is stupid.
right,
Why can't women have the same rights as a man in anything?
right.
Well, let me say this. What makes my head almost explode? Because you're right, John. I've heard this shit, and the first thing I say is like they have got to be the stupidest motherfuckers on the planet. Because one, I can be crystal clear. In America, women are not getting barefoot and going back into the kitchen. It ain't happening.
Mm.
Women are just as advanced, and in a lot of cases, more advanced than men. So they could just knock it off thinking that they're going to turn America backwards into that bullshit. Them women ain't giving up their right to autonomy and working. I get it. That may exist where the fuck you came from, but if you need that, you better take your ass back there because American women, which is a very multicultural nation, first of all, you don't. The problem is if you come from the DR or El Salvador or Mexico, most of the women, or almost all the women, are Mexican or Dominican or Salvadorian. When you come to the U.S., it is mixed up with so many different cultures. You're never going to get there is no unified culture in America because it's a multicultural nation. So you're never going to get women back. You got women from Europe, Asia, Africa, so forth. Then the second part, this is what drives me crazy. I've never seen, I swear, I think half these motherfuckers must want to be gay because I've never seen so many straight men worry about gay people. The bottom line is gay people have always been here and they always will be here. Donald Trump will be a racist fucking president and they're going to have just as many gays and trans as we had before. You're not going to sit there and vote nobody straight. If they want to be fucking gay, they want to be gay. This nonsense of, I got to have a strong, what is he going to do? Yell at them?
Mm-hmm.
He can't make these people
easy. Thank you for the super chat, brother.
Mm-hmm. You can't legislate it. You can't. So to the religious people, if y'all want to pray about it, then go pray about it. But how do you put a rapist in the White House?
May I interject for just a second?
Nikki, Rico jumped in front of you, but Nikki, it's your turn.
It's all good. Rico. Great point, Rico. For me, what's super frustrating about all of the thought of, women should stay in their place and they should be barefoot and pregnant and all these things. First of all, statistically, there's not enough men to, there's, what is it? 1 man to 2 women or something like that, right? Women, not all women want to share a man. Some of them do, sure, whatever. But then you have the fact that there's so many gay men now that even further messes up the statistic of 1 woman to being with 1 man, right? And so saying all of that to say it's unfair because if a woman doesn't have a husband, what is she supposed to do? She cannot go out here and make a man marry her. She can't make somebody want to be with her. That is ridiculous. So what is she supposed to do? Be barefoot in the house, not pregnant, and no job and no money? Like I don't know. I don't get it. Like what's she supposed to do? It's just ridiculous.
No, I agree with you, Nikki. What do you think about women, the Latino men, just not voting for a woman? Period.
So for me, I felt that the Latino men that wanted to vote Trump in were the ones that said, not me. He's not talking about me. He's talking about those other Latinos. Oh, he's
That's
not
good.
talking about me. And that hit me because of the fact that growing up, I was definitely that black girl that was like, I'm not those ghetto black girls. I'm the other black girl. Hey, knock, knock. Guess what? Hey, girl, you're still a black girl. Like, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You're still a part of that group. Again, that was me being young, dumb, and immature, right? So
Right.
I think for them, they're thinking, well, I made it, I did it, figure it out. And it's disgusting because what's going to end up happening is someone who is close to them that they didn't even consider, they're going to go through something and they're going to say, oh my God, I wish well, I don't know what they're going to say, but they're going to feel it for sure. And it
Yeah.
is what it is. What's happening right now is exactly what was ordained to happen, right? Because guess what? We don't have control over it. And hey, we're dealt this hand. We just have to live it and figure it out. That's it.
Rico.
So all I'm sitting there saying is, I don't want to hear the tears when those kids go back in them fucking cages.
Oh
See,
yeah.
that's how we forget. We
I
forget
forgot
them
about that.
children
That
were
was
in the
sad.
cages.
That was so
We
sad.
forget the family separation. That was the last time.
Yeah.
I
Wait,
can't
what?
believe
What about kids being in cages?
the
No,
last
he's not talking
time.
about you, Nikki. He's just
No.
talking about. I don't know if you go
When
ahead.
Trump was president, his immigration policy, they had children in cages.
That's true.
They got children that they took from their parents. They had the family separation policy.
Yeah.
So they took the children from the parents, and some of these children have never gotten back with their family.
That's true.
That
Yeah.
is just, that's all easily researchable facts. That shit is going to come back on steroids. That's all I'm saying.
But didn't Obama start that?
So I don't care. Mhm.
Go ahead,
I don't
Junior.
care. They asked for it. They voted for it. So I'm
Yeah, I
just
was
gonna
saying,
be.
didn't Obama start that? Like putting kids in cages?
No, he didn't do the family separation. So he did not take children away from their parents. The family stayed together. Trump took them apart.
He wanted them to feel the pain. So
He wanted them to feel the pain, and he was telling them, if you came with your kids, we was taking your kids from you, and that's what they did. And that's what they did.
Jesus Christ.
Shout out to Delta.
So that's just, I'm just saying, with what he was able to do the first time, and I'm just sitting there saying is, he just flat out told y'all, this is what I'm going to do. So all I'm just saying is, don't be surprised when he do it.
Right. Hey, Nikki, read this question for me, please, Nikki.
Kwana Ward says, most Latinos have socially conservative values, especially among Catholics and evangelical Latinos. Do you think that Latinos voted for Trump because of his stance on issues such as abortion?
Rico, go ahead.
That's a good point.
I mean, there was another dumbass point. No, I'm saying, but yes, I'm not saying, Kawana, that what you wrote is dumb. I'm saying that people choosing, like, for one thing, irregardless of Trump, basically put forth 3 Supreme Court justices so that they could strike down Roe v. Wade, which was a national abortion protection. All he did was send it back to the states, right? Now that's what he's bragging about. So he didn't eliminate abortion because probably half the states still have abortions. Half of them don't, half of them do. So in effect, what did he actually do if you want to fly the flag of, like, I'm not a fan of abortion, but I am very much pro-choice. It's people's right to do whatever they want to do with their body. But if they're going to sit there and say, well, Trump, I personally believe Donald Trump done had a couple of abortions, not himself, with all the women. That man is married 3 times, sleeping with porn stars. Come on.
Of course he has. And that's always the case.
Right. So it's just like, how is he so fucking pious to y'all? I don't understand this. Be more dirty dick than I could ever be.
Right.
This is who As a man, Donald Trump is not a pious religious person by any stroke of the imagination. Now, if you are going to let someone that you can clearly see is not religious play on your religion, then I'm like, I ain't mad at them. Y'all dumb enough to fall for this shit. But I will say this too, and I will say this, let me be clear. Yes, Obama was the deporter in chief, but Obama selectively deported people who committed crimes. Guess what Obama also did?
What?
He created the Dreamers in DACA. Okay, so he couldn't have been about just deporting people blindly, because he put in policies for illegal children who came to the U.S. to be able to stay, go to college, join the military, and get jobs.
Right.
Well, you can't have it both ways. Yes, he had the numbers of approximately 2 million people he deported.
He did. Now he did push the gay stuff. He did push the homosexuality.
He didn't push it. He pushed their protections like any fucking body else. That's called knocking. That's anti-discrimination. You don't discriminate against people the same way we don't want people to discriminate us against by race. He said you can't discriminate against people by sex. You can't discriminate against people by religion. You can't discriminate with people by sexual orientation. Again, if people want to be fucking gay, they are afforded the same protections as citizens as everybody else. Who they sleep with doesn't mean that you should be able to discriminate. So putting in protections for citizens is treated like, oh, that's pro this, that's pro that. Then that case, then he pushing pro black shit. He pushing pro white shit. He pushing pro women shit. It's just crazy.
Okay, very quickly, I just want to hop in here and say a quick shout out to Key Pina. I want to give a shout out to RA and Heavenly from me. Shout outs to you guys. Thank you guys for coming back. I'm glad you guys are here. I'm glad everyone's here, but I want to give that quick shout out.
You turn your phone off or put it on silent. I would say if anybody knows of a policy, a gay policy that was being pushed, can you just tell us what it was rather than just saying they pushed it? Can you tell us what please tell me what the gay policy was. Please tell me what it was. See, because anytime you ask them, you get nothing. Oh, they pushing. What was it?
Let me ask this.
And don't say y'all can't type it, because y'all typing plenty of shit. So you can type it in the chat, whatever the gay policy was.
Absolutely. And let me quickly ask this. Idio Mio Jr., would you have voted for Trump if you had the if you would have been here and could have voted? Who would you have voted for and why?
I'll be honest with you. I've never been into politics. Not here, not there. I voted for Obama. The only reason I voted for Obama when I was there was because I felt like,
Don't do earn by time.
an African American was in office, president. So that's the only reason why I did. It's all about business.
But he definitely had some good things to say, though, bro.
I wouldn't vote for. I wouldn't vote for her because I don't believe that she was for the people. She was more for herself, to be honest with you. So I wouldn't have voted for any of them. My own personal opinion.
Would you have voted for the one that said that they're going to mass deport? That's the only issue I'm sitting there getting at. I'm like,
no, definitely not. Definitely not. Because,
I don't.
Matter of fact, the director.
I get people saying they don't want to vote for her. Why the fuck would you vote for him if he's going to mass deport? And a lot of these people who did that, they have what they call mixed status families, meaning they might got citizenship, but somebody in their family don't. So when they get deported, you basically saying, come and deport my undocumented family members. That's what you're basically saying. That's the issue. So now if you ain't got nobody undocumented, and I know plenty of motherfuckers like that. I know some people that voted for him with undocumented people in their family members. I told them, don't call me if their ass gets snatched up. I don't care. I don't care at this point because y'all want this. Damn, if I'm going to be banging my head against the wall fighting for you and you won't fight for yourself, absolutely not. So that's the whole point. I'm not sitting there saying that people should get to stay illegally. I'm just sitting there saying it's like, well, here's the way I look at it. One, we have had illegal people in the United States since its inception. Since the country was first stolen, we have had illegal people in here. In the 1920s and 30s, when them fucking boats was coming from Europe full of white illegals, ain't nobody had no visas or no paperwork. All they had to do was get on the fucking boat and come here. That's all they had to do. That's how, see, American immigration, the way we see it today, it ain't always been that way. It only becomes a certain way when certain things start to change. But at one point in time, it wasn't that way. Oh, Ellis Island, y'all know about that? Easy, you from New York City? Them motherfucking boats was coming through the Germans and the Polish and the Irish and the Italians, and ain't none of them have no fucking immigration. They just got on the boat and came. That's it. So we go through periods of times where and our black asses couldn't say nothing. I'm just not going to be out here banging on people about that stuff when I know the history of immigration. And I specifically heard that man call Haiti a shithole and countries from Africa, and said, why can't we get immigrants from Scandinavia, Sweden, and Norway? So I clearly heard him say, we don't want no black immigrants, we want white immigrants. I clearly heard him say that. He said it in fucking code, but I know what Sweden and Scandinavia is, and I know what Haiti and fucking Africa is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if y'all want to sit there and play dumb, then go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. I'm good. I'm good. My black ass ain't going nowhere.
You know, the one thing that frustrated me about the entire thing was, and I'm just keeping it real. You can be, Donald Trump can do all kinds of crazy stuff, and we can't do that. So that just made me frustrated in the point where his wife, and I'm just talking about all, because they talked about Obama's wife and all that stuff. That his
She
wife,
illegal too, with her Slovakian ass.
His wife, my white friend got a magazine with her showing her ass cheeks and grinding on another woman, and her part of her lips, her coochie lips are showing on the front of a magazine, and they would shut that down if a black woman did that.
We all seen it.
And she's on a porn magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And mm-hmm. Not even just talking about her. Honestly, we got Donald Trump, and I know it's some stuff that I like that he's doing, but he's done a lot of evil stuff. They got him on recorder calling.
Let me tell you,
hold on. I'm gonna say this. They got him on recorder calling the governor of Georgia, saying, all I need is 10,000 votes, and then can you switch that on over for me? We Republicans, we supposed to look after each other. You're supposed to go to jail for that, don't you?
And how familiar does that sound? My brother in Christ, right?
I know, right? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's a whole nother story. My brother in Christ. All I need you to do is get the phone in Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
But John, you know another thing. This is what probably frustrates me the most about, and I actually saw, and then let me be clear, it's not just Latinos that are immigrant. I call them immigrant anti-immigrant.
Right.
How the fuck are you an immigrant being anti-immigrant? That's what gets me. Now, if you were born in a country, that's fine, right? But to be an immigrant in a country and become anti-immigrant is astonishing to me, because what happens is I'm watching people who, let me tell you, there is a large percentage of the legal people who become naturalized in the U.S. came naturalized through illegal means.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, first of all, the majority of the illegals in the United States are simply overstays. They didn't sneak across the border. They got on a fucking plane with a visa and didn't leave. That's what the majority of them are. They fly in and they refuse to go, and you become illegal. And then what they do is they get an illegal marriage and get a fucking anchor baby. You see what I'm saying? None of that shit is legal. It's all illegal. They game the system, but it's not the intent of the law. And those will be the same motherfuckers that vote to slam the door behind them. I've listened to people say, oh, me and my family came from Haiti illegally. We got citizenship. And I'm like, but you're sitting there saying that you're slamming the door in the face of another Haitian kid for doing the same shit that you and your mama did. This is crazy.
Exactly.
Hey,
I don't understand this.
Nikki, click on Heavenly. What she said, Rico, stop acting like some black people don't do ignorant things that make the culture look extremely bad. Half of the black people don't want to even live in communities with each other.
What does any of that have to do with immigration? I'm confused.
Right, that's what I was asking too. But
I
yeah,
don't know. I
Right.
didn't even say
And then
anything
he
like
says Haitians don't even want to be in Haiti.
Of course not. But guess what?
So
It's
did
not
he
just
lie?
Haitians, Palestinians, people in Somalia, people in Yemen. It's not just Haiti. It's all these countries that these colonial powers have fucked over and bombed and everything else. And people always leave. And then some people, the people in the DR who are not even under that situation, they want to leave for economic reasons. Most people are trying to migrate to make better money. That's it.
Well, let me tell you guys this quickly. Key Pena says a point that I love. She said, immigrants that are in the United States legally feel that it's unfair that other people are in the United States without going through the due process. When I tell you there's no truer statement, that is so true. And it's so effed up because it is so much to go through and so much money, time, patience, and crap. I completely agree with what she's saying. And
Yeah,
then
but that's today. But like I said, in the 1930s and 40s and probably close to the 50s, when all you had to do was be white and get on a fucking boat, nobody cared. Nobody cared. Nobody stopped it. Nobody did anything. That's all you had to do was be white and get on a fucking boat. That's all you had to do. And they were welcoming you and they were begging for you all the way through World War II. All you had to do was get on that fucking boat. America threw the door open. They wasn't doing none of that. Well, they weren't doing now they weren't taking them from black countries at all. They were pointed toward, the Statue of Liberty is pointed towards Europe. She ain't pointed towards South America. She ain't even pointed towards Canada. She damn sight ain't pointed to Africa. She's pointed towards Europe because that's what they wanted. And they made it easy as could be for those people to come here. So what makes them any more legal than the people that they're beating up on now? So if you're Christian and you're moral, then where's your moral argument for this shit? I get the legalities of it. Yeah, because what they did was when they decided they wanted to start restricting people out, and other countries do it. It's not just the U.S. The perfect example, Junior's in the DR right now. When they changed their constitution, they stripped citizenship away from people. They took citizenship away from people who had citizenship.
So what about the Latinos? Why, going back to the Latinos, Rico? Why do you think so many Latinos voted for Trump?
I think the machismo point is, but it's such a dumb point in America. I think there was some of that. I just think basically they got blinded with bullshit and lies. I think the Republicans did a better job blowing smoke and fear mongering.
Scare tactics.
Yeah, scare tactics, and they fell for it. But I also want to say, you know me, I'm not going to ignore the elephant in the room. I know as much as Kamala may not have been the flavor of the week, there is a large strain of anti-blackness in the Latino community. So let's be fucking clear about that. Let's not pretend like her race as well as her gender didn't have some. Because if you're talking about you want to make if you're going to make the discussion about qualifications, it's not even a race.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way in hell Donald Trump, he wasn't qualified to be the first time. He certainly isn't more qualified. He hasn't been more qualified than either of the women, Hillary or Kamala. So if you're talking about who's more qualified, he just isn't. But he's a man. They're not going to vote for a man. And in Kamala's case, she's black. There is anti-blackness in all over the Latino community.
Can I hop in for one quick second? So Sharonda Checo says, oh, wait a second. Let me go back to it. She says, how many people here vote for Trump? Show of hands. And then Key Pena says Kamala's campaign was trash. Now, both of these women who are making these comments are women of color. So I'm interested to kind of see what you guys think about that.
Right. Oh, you know what? Let's do this, Nikki. Thank you, Nikki. But my brother Chuck, he voted for Trump. He said, Rico, remember, Donald Trump is your president.
He ain't my fucking president. He yours. And let me just say this to the 20% of black people that voted for him. One other thing that they're proposing that's really going to light our ass up, our community specifically. Currently, right now, the police in the United States have what's called qualified immunity. Mm-hmm. The Republican Party and Donald Trump, now I don't know how easy it's going to get. He is proposing full immunity for the police.
Right.
At that point, that just means they can't do no fucking wrong.
Right.
So
let me do this. If you voted for Trump, we got 43 people in the chat right now. If you voted for Trump, put a number one. If you didn't vote for Trump, put number two. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. This gonna be fun to see.
I'm just sitting there saying there are.
Oh, and put woman or man also. Of course, we probably can tell your name, but just put woman or man.
Can I ask something real quick?
Go ahead.
So, do y'all feel that people voted for Trump because they didn't want Biden there anymore because of what's been happening the past 4 years? The economy's gone to shit. Jobs are not there like they were before, or you just think people just wanted Trump back because he's a business person?
Trump is one of the worst fucking business people on the planet. So here's the thing. I could say if they felt like it's crazy because it's like, how the fuck do you blame Biden for the economy? We came out of a pandemic. The economy went to shit when Trump was in there.
So
it's common sense.
So people that support Trump, they can say the same thing. Yeah. Trump went through it with COVID.
The pandemic, right? The economy was shit when Trump was in there because we were all sitting at home on our asses because people couldn't go nowhere. I'm not saying it was his fault, but how did you give him a great economy when he basically didn't have? He got a great one, but it went to shit. And I'm not even blaming him for the pandemic or the economy going to shit. But to sit there and say, oh, it's bad under Biden, it was much better under Trump. I'm like, no, it wasn't. Nigga, I'm gonna tell you the truth. You know what niggas are sitting there still dreaming about, Nikki? Stimmy checks that ain't coming back.
That's bro. Every single time it's the stimmy. Not even understanding that the Democratic Party, the Democrats were the ones who pushed to make it happen. The Republicans didn't push to make it happen. And that's the problem. They don't, the people who sit there and say that, they didn't do their research. They didn't do their homework to know that, hey, guess what, guys? It was the goddamn Dems who said, hey,
Yep.
Nothing's happening. We need to stimulate
Yep.
what? The economy.
Economy.
Okay. And he had no other choice but to sign it. And you know what happened when he signed it? He put his name on there for the
And got credit
groupies
for it.
and the ignorant people who don't know any better, who
Got
think
credit
that,
for it.
So
oh my
wait.
God,
I mean,
Donald Trump
Yeah.
literally
yeah,
gave us money. No,
right,
bro.
right.
Yeah.
Nikki, and we got 50 people on now, and we got 14 people that put 1 and 6 people that put 2. So shout out to the Dominican Route family. We got to, you know, everybody thinks a little different. We respect it or whatever, but of course Rico gonna say it. I'm gonna say things, you're gonna say things, but why it's so many people that voted for Trump, and that's amazing because I guess they just kick out all the crazy stuff that he did and just focus on the economy and getting everything back in order. Like,
You know what that sounds like? You know what that sounds like? He beats me, but he takes care of me and my kids.
It's just I just want to know. What I would like to know for all the people who say I'm crazy and blah 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 blah. And I just asked this question. Tell me what it is that he's going to, and don't give me that feel good shit about, oh, he's gonna stop letting men play girl sports. I don't give a fuck about that shit. That's like some of the dumbest shit to worry about. First of all, the percentage of men that's trying to play women's sports is so fucking tiny, it's insignificant, okay? And that is still up
they
to
should,
those
they shouldn't be
bodies.
doing it. They shouldn't be doing it at all, Rico.
John, I'm not saying they should be doing it, but if 3 men want to swim out of 300 million people, that's not going to be a voting issue to me. That's all I'm saying. And if you're sitting there telling me all of a sudden women's sports is flooded with men, I get it. The numbers are so small, they're ridiculous, but I will tell you this, they did a great job in taking things like the transgender and blowing it out of proportion. Gay people in the country is like 3% of people. It's like 3 to 4% of the population identify of anything LGBT. But
Right.
they're literally losing their shit over it. I get that it's unfair, but the whole point is, if you're the WNBA, you just say, hey, you're not playing, period. You don't need the president for this shit. You don't need the president to tell the WNBA, well, men can't play basketball with the women. And if they let them do it, then they doing it, not the president. It ain't the president to be about stupid sports. The sports bodies determine and dictate that stuff. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Kia says, if Trump policies were so bad, why did Biden keep the tax plan and tariffs in place?
The tax plan had to expire. It's like you don't keep a tax plan in, you don't take a tax plan out. If a tax plan is in, it stays in. First of all, y'all got to understand this. The president don't put shit in or take shit out. The president proposes to his people. It's the Congress, which is the representatives that write the laws, and they sit there and they vote on it. The president just signs it. So when they write a law, they say it'll be from this period to this period. That's the way it goes. That's just the way it goes. So I think his tax plan, some of them expired, I want to say somewhere shortly after, and he's going to bring them back. So he can do that. When it's up, you can vote for a new one. It's Red Bull vodka. It's always been about 4%. It's always been about 4%. That's not climbing. I don't know why y'all. You know what it is? Y'all see gay people more now, and I get it. They're more visible in media. They're more visible in other things. But I'm old enough to know gay people have always been around. They have always been around. And just because you don't see these motherfuckers don't mean they're not there. They're just that's where the word the closet is. Why the hell you think they called it the closet? Because they were already there. I'm just saying, it's like, this is the kind of stuff that I'm like, with real shit going on, if these are your issues, I can't be mad at you. I just think that they're really silly issues, but I don't sit there and go, Red Bull vodka, if it's always been under 1%, how would you know? Are you in that community? No, I just want to know. How would you know? See, that's the shit people do. Oh, it didn't used to never be no. It never. Unless you were gay, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know.
Yeah,
right?
I just dropped the link for whoever wants to come on.
But you know, it may be growing. I agree with that. I think, you know, but I think a lot of things are growing. I think people are talking more about mental health now than we ever did. But we've always had crazy motherfuckers. We've always had crazy people. But people are talking about it now. That's just how society is. Society evolves. It goes through evolutions. People are not, it's not even just people's sexuality, it's people's all kinds of shit. And if that's what they want to do, then let them do it. Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't agree that they should go back to the closet.
Kicks and Travel said they are teaching and pushing the gay agenda to our kids. Look at Dwayne Wade's son.
That's and you know what? That means that's Dwayne Wade that's pushing it. And so you're gonna tell that father he can't push that. Who's pushing that to his son but him?
Hey, all right. Hey, we got the number one Trump supporter in the whole world on the channel. What shout out to you? Easy. What's up, brother?
You come up here to fight.
What's up? How y'all doing? Blessings. Blessings.
You got your hat on?
I'm up. John, it's good to hear your voice. I'm glad you're doing well.
Thank you, brother.
Nikki, how you doing? You looking very young.
Oh, thank you. I hope I'm looking very happy because I am. I'm happy to be back and happy to see all you guys.
Yes. How you doing?
Junior. Go ahead.
I got feedback.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Why is it that actually I bought 2 sweaters. I bought 2 Trump sweaters and I bought a hat. But let me ask you something, Rico. You don't see them teaching this stuff in school?
No. No. Now let me be honest. At some schools, but I don't think that's a national growing movement of teaching alternative sexuality in school. And for the most part, I only seen or heard about it at the high school level. I do know that some high schools now they have LGBT
okay, Rico.
clubs. I agree with that, but I don't think
they have some.
Go ahead.
We can't hear you. We can't. You breaking up, Easy.
Yeah, it got an echo on it. It has an echo on it.
We can hear you now.
You have 2 devices on at one time. If you're on your cell phone or like a computer or something like that, turn one of them off.
Is that better?
Yeah, go ahead.
You're not echoing for us. That's only happening on your end, honey.
Oh, okay. It's going now. Thank you. So, Rico, let me say this to you, my brother.
Yes, sir.
God bless you, but you need help. Listen, they have something called drag queen school hour, where they go to the school, elementary schools, and these drag queens, men who dress up like women, go into schools and read to these kids. That is inappropriate.
I've seen that on TV. Yeah,
Okay.
That's inappropriate. You agree with that? You older than me.
No, Easy. Here's my point. For those things to occur, which they do occur, they do so. Y'all keep missing the point where these things only occur with parental permission.
No, they don't, Rico.
Where are they doing it and they don't get parental permission?
When you put your child in a public school, it's not like you could say, I don't want my child to learn about African American history or Latino history. They teach it to them. They have made. Listen, let me finish. They have made homosexuality part of the curriculum.
Okay, you finished because I just got you. You walked right into your own fucking trap. You just said that they can't not teach African American. They're fucking doing it. They're doing that in Florida. You're
wrong. You're wrong, Rico.
No,
Rico.
Doing it in Florida where they're
wrong.
Teaching black because they don't want the white kids to feel bad. You see what I'm saying?
That was a different argument. That was a different argument. Listen,
But I'm saying you're picking and choosing, and
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. That's
let me
wrong.
explain. Let
If
me
they're
explain.
doing that, that's wrong. That if
Okay,
they're doing that, that's wrong.
right, but let me
What they
explain
would,
to you. Let me
yeah,
explain to you again, like you said. So for certain risky topics, they send home a form for the parent to sign. And once that parent signs that form, you're giving the school permission to sit your little kids down and listen to people in drag read to them if you're okay with it. I'm not saying, I'm saying a lot of these things that we see that are occurring today, it's occurring with parental permission, and we're sitting there blaming the government because, to be honest with you, if you want to teach your kids, some people are taking their kids to the gun range. I don't think that shit's cool either. But that's what they
listen.
want to do, then they can do it. It's not my place to tell them. It's not my place.
Another,
I don't
another.
want to, I'm not religious. So I know a lot of you guys are Bible thumpers. I don't want
Yeah, you're right. Even
okay.
though I'm not a good Christian, I'm a Bible thumper, and I'm gonna thump you with this Bible.
But
I think it's
everybody's
wrong.
not
I
that.
think it. I think it's wrong that when you send your child to school, your child is being told by their teacher, "Oh, you're not supposed to be a boy. Your gender doesn't matter. It is what you choose." If I'm not teaching that to my child at home, why are you able to teach that to my child at school and
Where
then
they
don't
doing
report it
that?
to me?
Let me look it
I
up. Where
live
are they
in New
doing
York
that?
City. They
They,
doing that around the country.
no, they're not.
Yes, they are. What is wrong with you,
Okay,
bro?
go ahead.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that.
Bro,
Are
it's
we
gotten so bad. In Michigan, they were trying to pass a law what they call misgendering, and you could get arrested for misgendering. I don't know if they passed it or not, but they were trying to. So you mean to tell me that if you put on a skirt and a dress and a bra, I'm supposed to treat you like I would treat Nikki?
Yeah.
Come on, what world are we living in?
what do
This is
you
the
mean? I
foundation of
don't
humanity. This
I
is
want to understand the question. Yes, Miss Heavenly, I have a lot of children and grandkids too. But go ahead. But I'm not religious. See that might be where and I get it. You thumpers want to thump. Y'all put everything through the lens of God.
Hey, let
And
me
go
ask.
ahead.
Let me ask.
I'm
Hold
not
on.
knocking that.
Hold on.
But
Let me ask.
everybody's not religious.
Let me ask. Let me ask. Easy this. Easy. And I'm being for real, brother. You know,
yes.
I love you to death, man. But why, if a person calls the government and say, I need you to switch the votes up, and you still vote for them, what do you think that's wrong, or what should, you don't think that should strike a vote, or you should go to jail for that?
I'm gonna tell you right now, John. I didn't vote for Trump when he ran against Hillary Clinton or against Biden. I voted
Okay.
for him this time. What happened on
Okay.
January 6th,
But
4 years ago,
why
was wrong.
why is
Was
it
wrong.
okay? But why is
But why
it?
did I vote for him?
No,
I
no, no,
voted for him. Oh,
no.
okay.
That's not my question. My question is like, why can have somebody have so much pressure on Obama, and then Trump can have a wife that have her ass cheeks out on the magazine and talk about and be talk and ask the governor for 11,000 votes, and we still vote for him? Why is it that different? And I'm being serious. I'm really being serious about that.
You said, why is that different? Well,
Yeah.
first off, I don't care. I don't care about Trump's wife. I don't
Okay.
vote for a candidate based on their wife.
Okay.
And I said this. I'm gonna say something to you,
Hmm.
and I've said it to other people. If you take Trump out the picture, and let's say you put in Jeb Bush, remember he was the governor of Florida,
Right.
his brother and his father were president. Let's say
Right.
you put him in there, and let's say he had the same policies as Trump, but he was nicer, he was more political, more politically correct. You know what I would say?
What's
I
that?
still vote for him. I'm going to
Okay.
vote for anybody who's not going to agree. I'm not
Got
voting for someone who says there's more than two genders, who says you can choose your gender, who's
right.
allowing kids. They made it legal for kids to put to change their gender. Yet you got to be 18 to get a tattoo. What sense does that make?
I understand what you're
Easy.
saying.
Easy.
I just
Repeat what you said and tell me that makes sense to you. Just repeat it. So you're
I
under
said,
18. Wait a minute, you're under 18, right? Because the last time I checked, if you're under 18, you can't do fucking almost nothing.
and that's what I'm trying to say to
You
you,
can
Rico.
change your
But
gender.
Rico,
I just want you to hear it because I'm 35 years in the law. you are under 18
Yes.
and you can change your gender, I have to call
Yes.
I call bullshit. You may
My,
dress up and you may call yourself something, but you are not actually. I get what you're. Just because, like you said, if a 15-year-old kid wants to identify as a girl and dress like a girl, that's fine. I don't care. It's not my
no,
problem.
you see, Rico, you're saying you don't care, but as a
Not the truth.
parent, listen, as a parent,
Yes.
if the parent says, I didn't teach that to my child, you are not gay. We're not playing that in this household.
Right.
Okay, that's a family.
No, you're not
issue.
letting me finish. You
Okay,
have this thing of talking over people. I guess you do that because you're
okay,
wrong.
I'm sorry. Go
But
ahead. Go ahead, Dominic.
but what happens is the Lord then could come in and say, "Oh, we're going to take you away. We're going to take the child away from you, or they could put you in jail because you're not affirming the child's decision to change their gender." What kind of world do we live in? And that's what I'm saying. The foundation of humanity, man and woman, that's how we all got here. We're throwing that down the drain. You're going to tell me how to raise my child?
Right. No, but
Can I respond to him?
Go ahead.
I want to respond. What you're describing to me is a CPS issue, right? Because you just said they can come in. So that's a state by state thing. That's CPS. That's Child Protective Service. That's not even the federal government. That's every individual state and locality dictates what their child protective services can or cannot do. Now, if in the city of New York, the people in New York voted for them to be able to have that authority to come in and do that shit, take it up with fucking New York. Because I guarantee you they don't do that in Alabama and Mississippi and Louisiana and Texas. See, a lot of these things are happening in the household or in a locality that people are projecting on the big old government, and the big old government don't give a fuck like I don't. It's your locality and your household, and people don't want to get off their asses and do anything about it, but then they want to project that someone else should come down and save them. That is CPS. I hear what you're saying, but even if I believe it, that's CPS. Yeah, and you know that's CPS.
Listen, I understand.
Kids from you.
I understand what you're saying. There's a federal laws, there's state and local laws. I am telling you, Trump said he's going to get in there, he's going to put a national ban. Guess what? I support it because no child should be coming home from school and be confused about their sexual identity, telling their parents what their teacher told them, and now the parent can't tell the child, "We don't raise you to be like that."
So
But you can.
go ahead.
No. Oh, I think it's ridiculous. This is unfathomable.
Hey,
that
easy. The only reason I asked you that question was it just shows that there still is bias toward blacks and whites. That's what I believe.
How?
That's all. Because if Obama would have had his wife with her ass cheeks and lips hanging out, and he would have called the governor and said, "Hey man, I need you to switch these votes over from 11,000 votes." I think they would have had Obama locked up.
No, you're right. I agree with you. If it was Obama but see, I think Trump is in a very.
My point is, I'm not even talking about Trump no more. It's all good. I don't hate Trump like that.
No, but see,
my point is, it goes to show me that you can flash out and do anything as a white man.
but you're stuck. But John, I think you're making the mistake a lot of people are making with this election. Now I'm gonna give you this. Kamala ran a bad campaign. I think the Democratic Party shot themselves in the foot by not having a primary. I think Joe Biden should have never ran for re-election. But at the end of the day, the policies they put forward, you're giving all this money to Ukraine, and you got people in America who work 1 and 2 jobs and can't afford to take a vacation. I mean, it's ridiculous, bro. And you notice, I know you notice, people are working hard and they can barely afford to take care of their family. And yet you see all these illegals coming in, and you're like, why are we giving these people free stuff?
No, I'm upset at that. I'm upset at that.
Let me ask you.
I don't like that, but and giving them cards and giving them $500.
Yeah.
I don't like that. You're absolutely
My-
right. And maybe Rico can explain that.
No,
Why is our government
And
giving?
my point is this. My point is this, John. When that happens, somebody like Donald Trump, who I've never voted for the other two times he ran,
Mhm.
I go, hell, he's the only one out here with big balls talking about it. He's saying it straight up. Nobody else is talking about it. Nobody else is saying they're going to do anything about it. They playing games with it. He's a billionaire. They can't take all of his money away. He's standing up.
Right.
I'm voting for him.
okay, well, he ain't gonna do nothing about it, but that's fine. Can you
Okay, we'll
highlight?
see.
Okay,
We'll see. You know what? Oh
okay.
man. Okay. All right.
I give you credit. He's talking about it, but I'm just saying he ain't gonna do nothing about it. But that's okay. But
Go ahead.
Can you highlight Kawana Ward's comment?
Kawana Ward.
I think that's exactly was my
Kawana
point.
Kawana win.
No, the
Kia.
or
Kawana Ward up top.
yeah, one more. Go up, two more.
Up.
Go up again. She got one above that. That one. See, now this is exactly what I'm saying.
We got to read it first, Rico.
Right. So she's saying parents at her psychology practice are allowing children at age 12 to change their gender identity. Parents, and the school is consenting to the changes. So again, that's my only point is I agree that I see a proliferation of this starting to occur, but what I see is what goes hand in hand with that there's oftentimes they're being supported by family in doing this shit. So my question is, now even in this, there's a tension there because say, for example, I'm a parent and I'm in favor of my child changing their gender identity. And my child goes to school and then comes back and say that they're being bullied by the teacher because the teacher said that he's a boy and he wants to identify as a girl. And I agree with that. Now I got issue with school. See, and this is where we started to going down that slippery slope with letting parents start telling school shit. So now when schools are at the point where, so in that instance, the school can't tell the kids that they're not, because then they got parents. Remember, the parents were going around here beating up on all these school boards and all this shit. That's why they
I have a question.
But
I
I'm
have a
just saying,
question.
okay, and I'll be
I saw it.
but I'm just pointing it out
Go ahead.
that this is why this stuff is more trickier than people are saying. So in every instance, I'm like, it's not as cut and dry as they made it seem. Oh, all these guys, the school. No, in these instances, it's not the school. This shit is okay. And a lot of times it's in the home. There are people there who are okay with that just because it may not be.
Look what the lady just put up there.
Yeah.
Look at her statement.
And she agrees with Rico. Being able to survive is more important than the LGBT.
Because a lot of kids is taking themselves out.
But you missed it. She said she voted for Trump. She voted for Trump.
She did.
Right.
Listen, she voted for Trump.
But here's the thing.
So my point to you is the ability to make money and afford your rent and your groceries and retire one day is more important than you coming to me telling me I got to take care of illegal immigrants and I should support boys dressed up as girls playing and girls swimming and boxing and stupidness like that.
Why? Let me ask you, why do you? Because I don't see how that even affects us. It don't affect me.
It does. You know how it affects us? Because you're older than me, Rico. You're older than me, Rico.
Okay.
So let me ask you this. When I was 20 years ago and I was in the Navy, I remember they had the big thing about was it don't ask, don't tell?
Yes.
And then they went to same-sex marriage. To me, it's a creeping evil that never stops. They're not satisfied. They're not going to be satisfied until they can redefine everything that fits their paradigm. Now, I want to ask you a question, Rico.
Yes, sir.
How can you have a functioning society? Or do you think it's good to have this thing where you can choose your gender or is gender fluid? Do you believe in that?
I don't believe nor disbelieve in it. I really don't care. I'm just saying.
That's a non-answer. But brother, no, that's a non-answer. Do you believe that gender can be changed?
No, I don't believe gender can be changed. But I believe if a motherfucker is born, here's the deal. I've studied history enough to know that people have been having sex with the same gender going back to the Romans and the Greeks. That's how long this shit's been going on scientifically. So what I'm sitting there saying, while I believe men are men and women are women, I believe since almost the creation of time, women have been sleeping with women and men have been sleeping with men. And they have been warriors and conquerors and all. They've done it in Africa. They've done it in Europe. They've done it in Asia. That's why I don't care. It's always been here. I know that there is male and there are female, but people gonna be with whoever they want to be with. And if you could ever get out of your biblical lens, which I know you can't, you could be open to
No,
the fact that I get it. I said I know you can't.
no, no, no. I was gonna say that even from a non-biblical point of view, it still doesn't make sense to me. You know why it
I
doesn't make sense to me?
why
Because you need a man and a woman to procreate and multiply society. But
if
yet,
I agree.
this foundational truth of a man and a woman, we're attacking that now. We're saying, oh, you don't, and you're born with it. You can't choose it.
I agree to procreate, but I don't believe everybody's interested in procreating. So
But it doesn't.
obviously, and that's the thing is because that's what we do. We again from that biblical lens. Well, by that case, I'll say this, and taking your biblical lens,
It's
all
not
this,
my biblical.
let me
But I
finish.
can.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Go ahead, go ahead.
All this fornicating is going on for fun.
Yeah,
We supposed to
fornicating.
be, let me tell you this, but ain't nobody got no problem with that. How about
Yeah,
the
no, it's wrong.
national
It's sin.
not to
It's
have
sin,
sex?
but you know it's not as bad as the other sin.
Nobody
All right,
cares about that.
let's ask. Hey, let's ask Junior this. Junior. All right, because one of the main things, do you think is wrong? And this is easy. And Nikki, I want y'all to answer this. Do you think it's wrong for one Latino to be a U.S. citizen and say, "Hey, I don't want no illegals in here. I don't want no other Mexicans, no more Dominicans, no more Puerto Ricans in here because hey, they overcrowding the place." And what's your opinion on that, Junior?
How is an immigrant gonna say that another immigrant shouldn't be in that country?
I agree. Yeah, I hear you.
You came to this country, you migrated, legal or illegal. You're still an immigrant, no matter what. My
So
family are immigrants, became legal. When I went there, I went legally, you know, but that doesn't I don't have the right to say who should be there or not. If because you
no, but
came into that country illegally or however you went to that country, you migrated to that country. So you can't tell someone else that they can't be there because they came in illegally. I understand. Listen, I understand that we have laws, that we have laws that are implemented. If you want to be in this country, you have to be here legally. I understand, but we're always gonna have,
right, but with
you
you
know,
being born Dominican, why do you think so many Latinos voted for Donald Trump? I know put you on the.
it's it's hard to say. It's hard to say because
Give me one. Give
I
me
guess
one
sometimes you
main
got to
reason.
put yourself in that person's shoes
Okay.
because they have their everybody has their own right, their own opinion. They probably feel like, okay, now that I'm a U.S. citizen because I became U.S. citizen, I have the right, you know, to
Right.
vote and say who could not be here or not.
Right.
And
That's
it
a good
shouldn't
answer.
be that way.
Nikki, Rico.
Let me ask y'all a question. So who and you two specific, I'm gonna start with you, Easy. Who believes we should have a national language? And it should only be English.
What they got to
I
do?
believe that.
I'm
I've
asking.
said that before. I
I
said
know,
that
see,
before.
because
I believe we should have.
it still revolves around immigration because there are people who you think we should have a national religion.
No. We shouldn't have a national
Why not?
religion
Why not?
because freedom of religion is one of the pillars of American society.
It's not in the Constitution. So why
Freedom of
not? You see what I'm
religion.
saying? But I'm just sitting there saying when you said about things like Donald Trump, and now he's supposed to be a religious candidate. So what's
He's
the?
not the religious candidate.
We know he isn't, but he played that shit.
He played
But
like
what
it.
I'm saying is, what stops him from then implementing other things? You got to speak English, nothing but English. You got to be Christian, nothing but Christian. You know, and just to be clear, discrimination used to be legal in America, so they can nationalize all kinds of shit. That's
So
all.
why is it? So why is it that if you want to be a citizen in the Dominican Republic, don't you have to speak Spanish, Nikki? Am I
No,
wrong?
no, you
No,
wrong.
you don't. You don't.
You wrong.
Really?
That's more honestly it's more about your investment. You know, if you can invest, and correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, Rico, John, and Junior, is something about what is it, $250,000 property wise. Once you do that, if you're not married to a Dominican, that you know, gets you basically in the door, and then you can. I don't know. You guys speak about
You don't have to speak. I mean, they do have the national language is Spanish, but you don't
Yeah, but
have
you
to
don't have
speak
to.
it to be a
You don't have
citizen.
to speak it to.
No.
No, you missing what I'm saying. So when you go there to fill out the paperwork to become a citizen, what language do you have a choice
It's
of
in Spanish.
languages?
No, it's in.
It's
So
in
you can
Spanish.
even get it translated, but it's primarily in Spanish.
So
But
when I got married, we had to, it was in Spanish, but you know they
get them to translate it.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
I believe in America. You shouldn't become a citizen unless you can speak English proficiently.
Well, there's a shitload of Americans that don't speak a lick of English. I
They
know
speak it good
don't.
enough.
No, they don't. No, they don't. It's a
Yes,
ton of them that don't.
But when
Now,
I'm not talking.
I'm saying they had to take the citizenship test. They had to speak that broken ass English to raise their hand, but they don't know English. And we don't even, English is not even our national language. It's the language that most people speak. But
We
we
need a
have,
national language.
but we don't have a national language. We don't have a national religion. We
Let
don't
me
have
ask a
a lot of
question.
stuff. Go ahead.
Nikki, how do you feel about it? You don't think we need a national language?
I thank you for asking me. I feel that it would be cool to have a national language. Sure, that would be cool. And I also recognize that, you know, this country was initially Native Americans' land, right? So it's like, how do we rectify that? What do we do there? Uh,
Yeah,
it's
I,
not.
I
Well,
tell you what.
we've always made a carve out for them.
Let
We
me say
always
this.
given them a carve out.
Let me say this. Once I become a citizen of the Dominican Republic, I'm gonna make all Dominicans only speak English.
John, you might not make it there talking like that. You know them
I see what
Dominicans
you
don't
did
play
there.
with.
I see what you did there.
No, that's a joke. That's a joke. But hey, my baseball program, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna make my kids only speak English so they can learn the language. But of course not. I think me and Manuel. I'm gonna say this real quick. Me and Manuel are thinking about doing a comedy skit where I get in line and I speak in English and I say, no, no speaking any English, speaking in English. And we thinking about doing a skit like that and making a whole bunch of Dominicans mad and videoing it, and that's what we're thinking about doing. But anyway, back on
Yeah, we had a there was a protest out here the other day. I think it was yesterday or the day before, and the protest was illegal immigrants protesting when Donald Trump got elected
Mm-hmm.
about him being elected, and I was so disgusted that they came to the country illegally. We voted somebody who said they're going to stop that process, and they had the nerve to protest. Why don't they do that in their country?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't they take all that energy, all that fiber, that fight, and do that in their country?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll tell you another thing they're not reporting on the news. On the news, we have illegal immigrants in New York City taking over apartment buildings.
But that's just a small percentage you talking about. E.
Bruh, I don't care. I want them all gone. I'll be honest with you. I'm not ashamed to say that. I want them all gone.
Rico, you on mute, Rico.
This is the question I would have. Who the fuck is letting them take over their building? So I own an apartment building.
Stop it, man.
Oh, no, I just want to know. I'm like, I own a building. Who the fuck is just letting them come in and take over? Evidently, it's got to be some sort of slumlord that don't care. How do you have a property and you just let people take over what you own? That's a property that clearly you've shown little to no interest in.
The same way they took over the buildings in Colorado.
Right, but squatters squat where people are not at. Squatters squat in abandoned shit. So are they taking over abandoned buildings? Maybe. I'm not saying they should, but I'm not going to cry about it. Most of it is blighted in black neighborhoods anyway, fucking up our property values.
Some of it is they go to shelters, they get a voucher, they put them in an apartment, and then instead of them leaving like they're supposed to, they stay there. They bring other illegals, and they take over the building with guns and stuff because they don't care. Because where they come from, they do all that kind of criminal activity.
Bro, that again, I get that, and I get that that is occurring in some small numbers. But again, I say that's fucking slumlords. Because if you have a reputable, reasonable business practice, you ain't letting that shit get to that level. It just
You want to blame it.
But it looks it looks like I didn't mean to cut you off, brother, but it looks like Donald Trump and everybody agrees. 65 to 70% of the people agrees with Donald Trump. It's getting out of hand and it's getting crazy.
Sure. I mean, that's the thing. Republicans have been banging on immigration for 50 years. They just finally got up to a point where it reached fever pitch, and I get it. And this is the reaction to it, right? So I'm not wildly surprised. I just think for all of the immigrants, and not just Latino, primarily Latinos, but also Haitians, Africans, Jamaicans that voted for this shit, they about to get their fucking around find out moment. Because what's going to happen is, I'll tell you this, when they start that mass deportation, ask them folks in Arizona when they had that papers, please law. It's going to be some damn Latino citizens getting snatched up too.
Right.
Watch.
What law?
You're going to start seeing a whole lot of Dominicans in the U.S. hollering, I'm black, I'm black.
No, listen. No, they're not.
You better best believe that's when you see, sure, you can vote for something in the abstract and not feel it and not care. But once they start rounding your ass up in masses, and see, people don't know, I want to say it was in the 1930s, they had what was called Operation Wetback. That was a real thing in the U.S., where they deported like 1.5 million Mexicans back to Mexico. They deported Mexican Americans as well.
Now, what year was that in?
I don't know the exact year. I would have to look it up. But they have done mass deportation before. And I absolutely believe they're going to do it. And I absolutely believe some people are going to get snatched up in it, and a whole bunch of families going to get torn apart. And I just don't care because they voted for the shit.
Yeah, but don't you? Okay, so they do this. How many millions and billions of dollars they're going to invest in this? Do they have the manpower? Do they have the manpower? You know, they have to take the FEMA, Secret Service, CIA, everybody to go ahead and round up all these.
If the Dominican Republic have the manpower, you know that
they got the manpower.
That the United States gonna have the manpower.
And it's going to be a long process. And here's the thing,
John. I was going to say the same thing. Dominican Republic, aren't they out there holding rallies to deport Haitians? Why can't we deport people?
They do it all the time. That's right.
So that's what I'll be telling them when I'm up there talking to them. I'll be like, well, y'all don't have a problem with deporting Haitians in Dominican Republic. Now you can go back to the DR. I'll see you when I come on vacation.
They're going to do it. But my thing is it going to affect the U.S. economy? Yes, just like I told the Dominicans that how deporting Haitians is going to affect their economy. Because I heard the guy this morning, and I can tell you for a fact clearly, without a doubt, they're literally saying because here's the deal. They was like immigrants, and it's true, I don't deny, immigrants for the most part come in and for jobs, they compete with people at the bottom, at the bottom level, right? They don't come in and compete for $100,000 jobs. They come in and compete for the $10,000, $20,000 job. What they're literally saying is, because people, that's the first argument. Well, who's going to do these jobs once they're gone?
Americans, they ain't gonna do it.
Exactly. But that's what they're telling themselves.
Right.
And I'm like, here the good guy was like, well, when
That's not true. Americans will do them.
Who?
They haven't been doing it. They haven't been doing it now.
Easy.
So why? If that's the case,
when am I
we
gonna
have
see your
immigrants in the United States.
Easy, you not
If
doing
Americans were going to be working in farms,
it. They ain't
picking
doing it.
Easy.
berries, picking
Easy.
They ain't
avocados,
doing it.
they wouldn't. Just like Dominicans here, they don't do construction.
They not doing
Exactly, they're not going to do
it. They're
it.
not doing it.
So that's
They're not doing it.
Illegal.
Easy. My light skinned black ass and your light skinned black ass
ain't going out there picking nothing.
come on.
No, I'm not. Listen, I'm African American. I deserve better, and I got better.
Ain't
I got a good
nobody.
government job making good money. My
That's
point is,
good.
I used to work in construction. Most times when we get undercut by a non-union
Uh-huh.
that had illegals. They could barely speak English, couldn't
Easy.
read English, but they
Easy.
up here doing construction in America. No,
Easy.
come on.
Who gonna pick that goddamn fruit? When you out there paying $50 for a tomato, remember that shit.
They got machines
But
that
not
do
only
it now.
are they doing
What
it,
they
they're
doing?
doing a goddamn good job at the
Right.
They are.
You're right.
Let's be
And with-
very clear. Like they're
Not only
getting the
agriculture,
job done.
Hey,
meat
Florida.
packing plants. These are jobs you cannot do with machines.
Remember, but
Meat
hey,
packing plants.
easy. Remember, 2 years ago they tried that in Florida, and the orange juice was going to be $10.50 for
Yes.
a gallon. And
It's about to
Well,
happen.
some will stay, but most of them got to go, and they can fill out paperwork and go come back legally.
Trump and you said they all gotta go.
I do. I want them to go.
Trump and
You don't know how bad I want them to go. You don't know how bad.
All I'm saying is get ready for your $50 tomatoes. Okay.
You remember Rico? Remember when they said that some countries would not take back the illegal immigrants if we flew them to them?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
gonna take them
Cuba
back.
and Venezuela will not take them
And
back.
you know what I said? I said give them a parachute and then drop them off. I want these people out of my country. I want them
You know what
out.
you're reminding me of? Look, Easy's reminding me of what's the guy, Mark Robinson, the one that said some people just need killing.
Oh, from North Carolina.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in North Carolina.
Oh, Mark Robinson. Oh yeah, but listen, my family's from North Carolina. I used to like him until I saw that stuff. I used to like him until I saw that other stuff.
The point
But my family's from North Carolina, man. They down there living. You got a bunch of illegals down there just
So what
tearing the place up.
What happens when, just like Franklin says, when they tried that in Florida, a lot of construction stopped? What happens when all this fruit stop getting picked and all this construction and all these roofs stop going up? What happened, Easy? What we gonna do then?
You know what's going to happen? You're going to give the jobs to Americans for the right price. So with the construction jobs, instead of undercutting union jobs, there'll be more union work. In New York City, the union contractors, the union labor jobs, they're being undercut by non-union, usually illegals who can't speak any English. Why are we doing that to American citizens?
Okay, Easy.
I'm just wondering.
Here's the point I'm trying to make. I'm not even trying to make the point about the pay. It's the same thing when I say with that construction, the agriculture, and everything else, right? It's not just the pay. That work is back-breaking fucking work.
That's hard work.
And I'm just telling you, we done got too goddamn soft for that shit. We have the same way Dominicans done got too goddamn soft for the field because we've been too far removed from it. Good luck trying to get an 18, 19-year-old kid. They all trying to be fucking TikTokers and influencers. They not doing that shit. Are you crazy? They're not going to do that work. That work is hard work. And we don't have it in Americans anymore to do the type of manual labor that is required to work those jobs. So we're not going to do. So there will be a handful of guys that come back into it, but it's not going to be enough.
Well,
that's all I'm saying.
Well, if Trump brings slavery back, then he'll have some.
Well, that's what it's going to have to be, is slavery with whips and guns, because you ain't getting black people out in no motherfucking fields no more. You can stop it.
But Rico,
This is not going to be slavery.
We're already feeling it here in DR with the construction.
Exactly.
A lot of they stop a lot of constructions here. Right now in Punta Cana, there's a lot of, property that's being stopped because of the mass deportation with the Haitians.
And Dominicans,
but Dominicans are not going to go and build those apartments.
I saw
it's not going to happen.
I saw where the guy came out with like a rifle and shot one of the guys while he was working too. That was like 2 or 3 months ago. Did you see that video?
No, I didn't. Wow.
Well, because and here's the thing, in the DR, what people don't realize, well, maybe they do, maybe they don't. They're not using a whole lot of machinery to build them houses. Maybe the high rises in Santo Domingo, but all them villas, them Haitians building that shit by hand.
By hand.
Dominicans are not going to do that.
Rebar by rebar. That's how they build it.
They're doing that. They're bending rebar by fucking hand. They're lifting cinder blocks up on ropes on pulley. There is no
Rico.
It's back.
Rico. I understand all that. What you're not understanding is we got to get rid of these people so they can come via the legal process. We cannot have a safe country where people could just walk across the border. You got people from China walking across the border.
Okay, I get the closing off of the border. I get that. Build your fucking wall, whatever. But what's the point in taking out the very people that you're going to need to let back in? Because what I'm saying is nobody here is going to do that work. So if I could snap my finger and get them all out tomorrow, we got to go down to the border and let half the motherfuckers back in to do this.
No, you don't. We have a process. We have a process that people have been waiting.
Right, but you're still letting them back in as well.
But like Junior said, the process ain't working in the DR because everything is coming to a halt.
Yeah, but we know the DR is a business. We know here is a business with Haitians and the military and cops. So that's something different here compared to the United States. I think you're not paying Border Patrol and ICE agent, $5,000 for them to cross you. So like I said, it's no business over there. Here is totally something different.
But I think
government knows it.
I think it's the same when it comes down to Mexicans and Haitians working doing labor.
No, yeah, I understand the labor, but I'm saying like immigration wise,
Nikki, hold on to that one.
Because the reason why I'm saying it, and that's a good point, but here's the dynamic again. Everybody ignores the nuance in these conversations. You're right. There are Dominicans going to Puerto Rico illegally do the work that Puerto Ricans won't do, right? And you may say, oh, they doing construction there. Because once you go into a country illegally, you have limited work options. So maybe they don't want to do that shit.
But I would imagine they're getting paid more. They're getting paid dollars, not pesos, and it's a higher amount. That would be my assumption. I don't know.
But no, it's not just that. There's only a handful of jobs they're going to be able to do in those countries, which is why you see immigrants all migrate to the same types of jobs in the fields, in construction, meat packing, seafood picking, chicken killing, because these are jobs that they're going to let them work and they can stay under the radar. That has more to do with it than anything else. You see the same thing with the ones that migrate to Europe, that go to England and Germany and France. They work the same types of jobs.
Rico, did you want us to stop on this question right here?
Yeah, this is what I'm addressing.
But you got to read it though. Read it.
Oh, why are Dominicans? Go ahead.
Go ahead, Nikki.
Why are Dominicans trying to go to Puerto Rico illegally to do work that Puerto Ricans won't do? Why don't they stay in DR and do the work there since they are deporting Haitians?
Very good question, and it answers itself because they're being hypocritical. That's why I say.
But Americans are doing the same thing then, because they don't want to do the the same thing.
Listen, what I'm saying.
No, it's not. It's not the same thing.
Okay, listen.
It's not.
Listen, again, just pay close attention. It is what Nikki said, and the fact that those are the only jobs they can get in Puerto Rico is higher pay, and in addition, so they're not going to go to Puerto Rico and do it for the same shit that they would pay them in the DR.
And
so
also,
if I go to Puerto Rico and this is the only job I can get, and they know that this is the only job I can get, then I'm going to do it for more money. Why would I stay in the DR and do it for damn near slave wages?
And
they would rather do something else, but because they're locked out of the job market for anything outside of like the same thing. Let me finish. The food industry, waiting tables, whatever they do, hustling on the street, all of that, because they ain't got no social security number. They can't buy into anything else. You only have choices that you can do. They prefer to do something else, but they're going to do the work that's at the bottom, because that's what every country says is if you come into our country illegally, you're going to do the shit that we don't want to do. And that's all you're going to do. That's what every country restricts people to. You don't let them come in and get the cherry job. You say that shit for your citizen and you tell them you do all the shit jobs. That's what you do.
Well, I just wanted to quickly say, on a petty note, I appreciate Key for spelling my name correctly. It's Niki with 1K. Thank you for that.
That was my fault, Nikki. I'm sorry.
You didn't do anything wrong, John. You didn't spell my name wrong.
Yeah, okay,
I was saying thank you to Key for spelling it correctly. You're actually doing great. What the heck? Cut it out.
Good. Okay, cool.
Man, good, silly.
So I was really shocked when I saw the polls that a lot of Latinos voted for Donald Trump. That was just surprising to me. It really, I wasn't surprised that the blacks voted for him. I was surprised that the Latinos voted for him.
Whew.
It just shocked me.
Shocked the shit out of me.
Yeah, it did.
Why?
Because he said he was important.
Yeah. And because I thought they was like, oh shoot, let me vote for Kamala because they getting ready to deport my auntie and my cousin and my grandmama and all that stuff. But they I guess they already
That's what they did.
They already said.
But see, here's the thing, Kick. They're not going to get higher pay once the Haitians go. That's one thing I also think that is a misnomer, is the belief that once all the Haitian workers go, that all of a sudden they're going to start paying these Dominicans double and triple wages. They're not going to do it.
It's not going to happen.
They're not going to do it. Business don't work like that.
They are right. I wasn't shocked at all. It was citizen. It was American citizens, Latino citizens.
But they're not going to pay them a livable wage to go pick fucking plantains. No. Nobody is getting good money to do that shit. That's why they're full of Haitians.
So Rico,
you're gonna get dog money.
The corner stores in your neighborhood. I think you live in Ohio, where they were eating cats and dogs, right?
I don't live in no fucking Ohio. I'm trying to put me
eating cats and dogs.
Go ahead.
Listen, my man Trump said they was eating the cats and the dogs. But listen, my question is: your corner stores are owned by who? Like usually Muslim Arabs
and Chinese.
We got a lot of Chinese, Koreans. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, in Louisiana, it's mostly Korean and Chinese.
Yeah. It used to be black, but they sold them all.
Yeah. So in New York, it's mostly Arabs, Muslims, and then you have some Spanish, but it's mostly Arabs now. You talk to some of them, and I find out is a lot of them come from Yemen, and what they do is they come over here. And then somebody will have an apartment, or who owns the store is a Yemenis guy, and he gets those other guys on a work visa to come over here, and they'll work for 8 months out the year, go home to their wife. And these guys are young, early 20s. Sometimes they go to school, but they're living in an apartment. Let's say it's a 2-bedroom, and they got 8 people living in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do.
Right. Oh yeah, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
They
Good.
work together. They work together.
What-
Hey,
So my point is
let me ask
that's my point is they're not making great money, but they're
right.
making good money for where they come from.
But that's what
Agreed.
Mexicans they do the
Mhm.
same thing. But let me ask you this: Is there any? Oh shoot, my dog.
Even the dog don't like your ass.
Is there any a lot of Mexicans in New York?
Uh,
I'm
Yes.
asking.
it's a lot. It's some.
Yeah, now it is. Now there's more, and we're getting a lot more Venezuelans too. You could tell them, and it's crazy. You could tell them apart. You really can. Most
Yeah.
times you can tell them apart.
Well,
Most
can
times.
I just quickly hop in and say this? RA said they think they are white, so it didn't click with them.
For a
Let me
lot
tell
of
you
them, that's
something.
true.
Absolutely. Here's the deal. I have been saying, I said this to my mom, I've said this to other people. The bottom line is they're like, hey, I'm here. I'm white skinned. I could
Mhm.
give a flying flip. Guess what? I'm not those little guys who just, when you see them, you automatically know that they're Mexican or Hispanic. Hey, I am not them. And to me, it is so disgusting because it to me it says like, oh, they're not what I am. I'm something different. I'm totally different. And it's just crazy. Like I am a Black American woman and I have a love for other brown people. I am a brown person. So it's just disgusting is
Yeah,
what I'm
but
trying to say with
But
that.
Nikki, you're not a brown person. You're a black woman whose history in this country it goes back much further than other people's.
Well, here's the deal. Black, brown. For me, my skin is brown. I also know my DNA, right? I can show you my test, okay? I'm a Black, white, Jewish, Native American woman.
Oh man.
Yep, I said it. I'm 73% African, which is my blood. All right. But here's the deal. I also have an actual relationship with my white and Jewish family, dude. So it's not like, oh, I'm just saying what my DNA is. I have a real life relationship with that part
But
of
see,
my
that's
family.
different than
So that's
somebody
a
who goes to get a
whole
DNA.
different conversation that like we totally will not get into right now because that's not even what we're talking about. But what I'm saying is back to my point is that I am not just throwing away people who look like me because they're not American. They're those other blacks.
Right.
But
That's
that's
what
my
I'm
point.
saying. Let's stick to you understand?
But that's my point. But see, that DNA stuff, you could put that to the side. What I'm saying to you, for me, voting for Kamala Harris is voting against the interests of black people in America. My people, African Americans, Foundationally black Americans who have been in the country before it was a country, we are still looking for certain justice to be done. Some people are standing in the way of that.
can
And
you
some of the
tell?
people who,
Yeah, I want to
huh?
know. I want to know what you said. Voting for her is a vote against our interests. Can
Yes,
you expound on
because
that? Go ahead.
because she wants to give things that should be going to American citizens to illegals. They don't deserve it. They didn't build this country.
Okay.
Those funds should go to us. So when they say they don't have money for reparations, but they're giving billions and billions of dollars to illegal immigrants who don't speak any English, guess what? That's you spitting in my face right now. They're
But
fighting for
they also gave millions to what this the Ukrainians and those
Mm-hmm.
guys. That
Israel. Mm-hmm.
I'm not letting them off the hook. I think that war in Ukraine was trash.
But
We
you
should have
voted.
never started.
So
Good thing since Trump said in 10 days when he's elected in office, he said the Ukraine and Russian war will be over with.
no, it
Good.
ain't.
See, my man Trump is fixing it already.
He ain't
Come
fixing
on,
shit.
man.
You
He
The
think
just
he
Trump
gonna change? You
train.
think he gonna change?
oh
You
my
think
god.
you think in 10 days he gonna change? He gonna the war gonna be over with in 10 days?
Guess what's been reported? President Putin. It was been reported that President Putin has called and said he's ready to open up for negotiations to end the war.
That's because he got them P tapes on his ass.
I don't care. I just
He
want it
got them
over.
tapes of them hookers peeing on them.
We could be
Well,
spending
I
that
heard he was
billions and
caught on
billions
the
of dollars
guinea
somewhere
pigs
else.
as well. So there's that.
No,
I mean,
really.
if now if he does that, I'm gonna be happy. He said in 10 days the war be over with. I'm gonna be happy.
Why?
I'm gonna say because the war, it's war, Rico.
Okay.
People are dying. People are
Right, but
dying.
I'm saying, but how does that? If the argument for and I've heard from Easy and all the people who voted for him was I keep hearing everybody about ain't doing enough for black people, black people. Black. So I'm saying okay, he won. That's great. Y'all got in. I'm counting the days until I see some black people shit get done. Because what they can see, all this, she didn't do nothing for black people. I'm waiting. Because see, when we in 2025 and 2026 and 2027, and he still ain't did shit for black people, they gonna get
Here we go.
Here
Here we go. No, it's not going to get real quiet because you know what, Rico. See, you're one of these old Negroes still singing spiritual hymns in the civil rights movement. The Democratic Party has been getting 80 and 90% of the
the
black vote.
Democrats lost.
And when we talk about reparations, what does the Democratic Party do? They spit in our face.
Can we
You
talk
do
about the guy that won?
no more spitting in the face of African Americans. No more taking us for granted.
Okay.
If they want to win, then they need to come to us and they need to do it properly with
Agreed.
tangibles.
I agree with you. No more spitting in our face. So now your guy's in, he gonna get some shit done for us, right?
Uh-oh.
He's gonna get it done for me by getting rid of these illegals.
Dr. HP said that's the insult, question mark.
I want to know what he gonna get done for us. I want to see the black agenda because he won. I'm supporting your guy, Easy. How long I gotta wait? What month we getting our check? When we get?
I would say about March. I say about March because
First
you know what's gonna happen.
Okay.
You know why? There'll be a whole lot more black people getting jobs because the illegals will be gone.
I don't want no job. I want a stimmy.
I don't want a stimmy.
I want a stimmy. Fuck that shit. I got a job.
I would like to get my stimmy as well.
Yeah, I got a job.
Well, y'all go get your stimmy. Get rid of them illegals, and there'll be plenty of money for your stimmies.
No. Your guy supposed to get me my stimmy. Your guy.
A bigger stimmy. I heard the stimmy this time was
I need the Trump stimmy.
Like double, right?
Yeah.
You know, I'll say this in Louisiana, I didn't see a Mexican until after Katrina. When after Katrina hit, I never knew how a Mexican looked until after Katrina. We have
John, you got to stop with the Mexicans, bro.
No. And I'm saying that because they're doing a lot of things in Louisiana. So I don't have nothing against Mexicans. I love Mexicans. I have an adopted Mexican. My son is Mexican.
Yeah.
So my point is that they're doing every time you look at a roof and a roof is getting put on, is Mexicans over here putting roofs on.
Mm-hmm.
But my point was the illegals that are the biggest problems right now are the Venezuelans and some other ones who I don't want to call them out like that. I just call them all illegals. I don't care if you came over here legally and overstayed your visit. You got to go. You're illegal now. Get out.
You know that's half of the motherfuckers that became legal. They were.
That's not true. That's not true.
Yes,
no, it's not. You're repeating something you heard from the View.
No, the vast majority
from the View.
The vast majority of the people that come over, they fly in with a visa, they overstay, they become illegal. Now they may and a lot of them, and that's been going on for generations. They subsequently became naturalized citizens, but for a period of time, a lot of them was illegal. I'm not saying they remained that way. Obviously, they got citizenship, but they were once illegal as well. Most of the people that come don't come across the border. They come to the fucking airport.
Yeah. Yep.
That's how Mrs. Trump got in. That bitch ain't come across the border. She flew in.
I didn't vote for her. I voted for Donald Trump.
I'm just saying.
Trump, baby.
I'm just pointing out she also got here illegally and got legal.
You know what's crazy to me? When you go online, you can hear all these liberals now talking. They're crying. They're so sad. They want to do censorship. Did you know that? They're talking about doing censorship to
Who?
control.
What's that?
Yeah, dude, you can find it online. They're talking about doing censorship. Some of these left wing pundits. But it's just funny to me how they're losing their minds because they lost an election. Like, you lost an election because you're not speaking to the needs of the majority of the American people.
But how they gonna censor anybody? They can't censor anybody.
They were talking about it. Yes, they can censor you,
How?
like they do on YouTube. Will censor you. It's been proven that YouTube has worked with the government to censor certain people. You had people reporting. You had people reporting on the war in Ukraine, and they were coming from an vantage point that was not favorable to Ukraine,
Okay.
and they got their channels taken down.
Okay, but that's not censorship.
If your channel was taken down, how is that not censorship, bro?
That's not censorship because I don't believe, and they everything they call censorship. I get that. Basically, it depends on what they took your channel down for. Now, of course, like if John get his channel taken down, right, and he might say, "Oh, they didn't want to hear what the Dominican route said," but then all of a sudden he might have had somebody flash something sexually suggestive. A lot of times people get their channels taken down, and you don't get the real reason. They just gonna put out the reason why they said it was taken down. So I'm not.
I understand what you're saying, but it wasn't.
I just think it's just kind of.
It was a political channel. It was a political channel, but it happens. They were talking about it.
Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying, but I just think that it's just y'all won. You should be celebrating.
I am. I'm happy.
It's your.
I'm happy.
From January.
I'm very happy. You don't know how happy I am. I was getting drunk the other day. I was getting towed for like 2 days. I had on my Trump hat and my Trump what do you call it? The face mask. And then I brought 2 Trump sweaters. So I'm having a good old time.
You in New York? Is New York blue or red?
Oh, it's blue. The people look at me like I'm crazy.
Oh Lord. That's crazy. You better protect yourself, man. You be safe.
Well, the bottom line
thank you very much.
Ain't no guns over. You can't tote no guns over there.
Again,
no, you can now. Now they changed the law.
Change what law?
Oh, you can have. You can get a permit and get a gun there.
Yeah, and the Supreme Court, when they struck it down, and now you are allowed to get a carry permit in New York City.
And let me ask you this: do you think Thumper, since you a thumper, you think
a thumper? Here we go, man. I'm a human being who loves Jesus.
Okay,
I love Jesus.
That's fine. Okay. You think that
you see how they treat me, Junior? You see how bad they treat me?
You think people should be walking around? You think that's a good thing for children to be seeing people walking around with guns up and down the street? You think that we should be teaching that?
I'm gonna answer your question with a question. Mm-hmm. You think it's all right for kids to be seeing these transvestites walking around?
I don't think they should be seeing them.
All right then, but I don't have a problem with guns. My family's from the South. You go down south to North Carolina.
Okay, so
if you go down south to North Carolina, you got people walking around with guns all the time.
Right, exactly. I know that. So you don't think that's in Texas and Georgia and out so forth. So you don't think we got a gun problem in the U.S.?
No, I don't. We have a people problem. You like that, right?
I'm telling you, as Junior, if the Dominican Republic was allowed to have guns, I wouldn't even be living in the DR. It's some crazy, some son of a bitches in the Dominican Republic.
So
Junior, I think you're muted. You're muted.
Junior.
Huh?
You're muted.
Go ahead,
Junior's
Junior.
muted.
Go ahead, Junior. Junior.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I said if that was to happen, everybody here would be dead. John, you see how when somebody hits you in your car and you come out, whoever has a gun, sometimes you'll get shot.
Right.
But just imagine everybody carried here.
Oh,
and I'm glad. And I'm glad our gun laws here are real strict.
Yeah.
because of that.
They
That's
come
one
out
thing
with
I can say.
machetes.
You know?
They fighting in the street all the time. They yelling and screaming at each other. You know how many people get shot from road rage in the DR, like Junior said? Oh my God.
Exactly.
They trying to
I
play
think that is a good deal.
machetes.
Say it
But
But
again.
Dominican Republic is a smaller country. You got to remember, America's bigger.
yeah, but it's
Yeah.
not the
So
size. It's the guns.
Besides,
We got more
the
guns than
guns.
people. It's the guns.
uh, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with guns, man. Guns are
It
not
is
the problem. People are the problem.
guns are the problem.
And it's right. You're right about that. It's the people not being educated and knowing how to, when they have a gun, how to respect that weapon. Don't use your emotions and act off of them because you have a gun.
Exactly. You said it perfectly.
Guns are the problem.
Perfectly.
Guns are the problem.
Hey, one more question, and we're gonna wrap it up. All right. She says, "All right, Dominican Republic. Do you, RA? I guess. Who is RA?
Somebody in the chat.
Oh, do you believe? Oh, Dominicans feel that there are too many Americans in the DR, and that the DR government should do something about it.
No, they don't. You got to understand something. Our economy is up because other countries have been investing here.
Right.
You know, we're always going to need Americans, Chinese, Japanese, Koreans, because we need that for the economy. You know, let's say, just imagine no other country was here investing. Punta Cana never existed. How would DR be?
Yeah.
You know,
Oh
so
yeah.
every country
That's
needs other countries to you know
thrive off of.
to
Yeah.
thrive, to stay afloat. You know,
Right.
so just like America, you know, Americans need immigrants,
Mhm.
legal ones. Don't get me
Right.
wrong, legal ones.
Amen. Amen.
They
Amen.
need
Okay,
legal and illegal. They need both.
No, we don't. Well, the
Yes,
illegal
we
can go to
do.
your house, Enrico.
Yes, we do, and we're gonna find out. We're gonna find
They,
out.
they can go to
But
your house in Ohio where they're
they
eating
don't
cats and dogs.
they don't need to come to my house because they perfect. Just because here's the thing. People act like illegal immigrants don't contribute to the economy. They do.
no, they
They
do, of
work, they
course.
pay rent, they spend money on taxes, they do all that. Illegal immigrants contribute to the economy in just like the Haitians were contributing to the Dominican economy. They're going to feel that
Exactly.
pinch too because they were buying
Exactly.
food, they were doing all that stuff. Matter of fact, I think I saw what the government was saying that they were asking people to eat more plantains and more eggs because there was an overproduction of it. And I'm like, and then you got fewer people to consume it, so the prices are having to crash because you ain't got as many people, you ain't got as many consumers. You kicking out 10,000 a week.
Kawan says, like other countries, DR needs Haitians.
Yeah, and
I-
Americans
right.
need Dominicans and Mexicans too. They just do. It's in a perfect world, everybody would be legal, but the world's not perfect, and we've always had illegal immigration all over the world. Every country has it. It's not even an American problem. They have them all in Europe. They got them in Asia. They got them everywhere. People, human beings, since the beginning of time. Okay, you a thumper, easy. Okay, the Bible don't talk about borders. People used to sit there
Oh,
and
stop it. Stop it. Yes, it does.
it talks about borders.
Oh Lord, here we go. We finna wrap up, but here we
All
go.
I'm
Yeah.
saying
Oh yeah.
is people have always migrated. People
There was
move.
a
People have
Rico
always done it.
history. There's a reason we call it history because that's what it was over time. So yes, there was a time when people were more nomadic. We went through different stages throughout history,
Mhm.
the Bronze Stage, all these other stages as we develop throughout humanity, and we don't do that, most of us, where we just keep moving. We take up roots now.
Because of why we don't is because of borders. Man created borders. So
Yes, nation states.
right. So they made nation state, they became more tribal. So, but prior to that, I'm just saying that it's within man's nature to be migratory, but because at some point they created nation states, tribes, and borders, all of a sudden it was just like you said, over time, we had to get that nomadic mindset out because it was like, I can't cross this border. I can't cross this border. I can't cross this border. So everybody ended up settling.
John, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Is it reasonable for me to say that before America takes care of illegal immigrants, they should be taking care of U.S. veterans?
No, you got to take care of the U.S. veterans first.
Okay, thank you. I know
Are they
Rico's going
not?
to disagree with that.
No, are they not? That's my question. Are they not?
No, guys are
They're not taking
fighting,
care of veterans?
not like they should be, not all of them. There shouldn't be a single homeless vet.
Well, I mean, now what?
That's a so what are you supposed to do for all the homeless vets that are dealing with mental health issues?
I know. Listen, that should be the standard, though. We have too
Yeah,
many.
I'm just asking.
They fight for their
I get you.
resources and
I
all
get
that when they shouldn't have to. These
okay.
illegals come in, they don't fight for it. We don't know who they are.
But we're not talking
They
about
could be,
illegals now. We're talking about
but we
homeless
are.
vets. No,
But we are.
you're saying there should be no homeless vets. I'm just asking you.
In relation to illegals who come into the country and get everything for free, why do we have homeless veterans then?
Okay, but these are two separate issues.
No, you can't say it like that. It's not two separate issues.
If we didn't
Because you
have
want to take it.
let me tell you why it's a separate issue. If we got rid of every fucking illegal immigrant, we're still going to have the streets full of homeless veterans. They're not homeless because of illegals. They're homeless because of other issues, is what I'm saying.
No, but easy saying they homeless
That's all.
because we ain't giving them enough money.
But
But
I
no,
agree with that.
no, that's not. My point is this. You're right. No matter what we do, there'll be some veterans because of their mental
Yes, that's all.
status who will be homeless or who have a drug addiction. But my
Yes,
point is this. Why don't we use the same resources that we putting into people who came here illegally and did nothing for the country into our veterans?
we should be. You're making it you're making it a zero sum game that we have
No,
to take
you
all everything that we doing here and put it over here, where in reality you can do both. Of course you don't want them to do anything for illegals. That's fine. I
no,
get
I
that.
don't want them to do this for illegals.
To
I
get
want
rid
them to
of
go away.
right, exactly.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is we can be taking care of veterans and taking care of poor people in America that are not veterans.
What does Dr. HP mean when he say Reagan policies impacted vets?
Ronald Reagan, when he was the president, his policies affected vets and fucked them all up, and they've been fucked up ever since. That's what he's talking about.
Reagan cut
Ronald
certain
Reagan
but they put it back. He cut certain benefits for mental
okay.
problems.
Okay.
Right or wrong? Am I wrong?
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just sitting there saying is, again, all this stuff is much deeper. It's more nuanced. So the reality is, like you said, I agree we need to be doing more for vets, but I don't think because what's going over here with the immigrants is taken away from the vet. I just think that we're doing a poor job of managing vets coming back that's going through a lot of shit.
I hear what you're saying, Rico. You're not hearing me. You're not hearing me. I hear what you're saying. So we've given to illegals in this country since this new wave of illegals who can't speak English, like over $1 billion. We could have put that money toward veterans. My point to you is, oh my Lord Jesus.
Did you say billion?
My point to you is the money and energy that we put into helping these illegal immigrants, helping them with apartments, with food. And then they said, I know in New York, they said they didn't like the food. So we gave them food cards. We gave them cell phones, gave them Metro cards, clothes, all this stuff. We could have been doing that for veterans. That same energy, let's put it into people who went over to Iraq and Afghanistan. That's all I'm saying.
Hear you. Hey, we got final thoughts right here, and I want the Dominican. I don't think Nikki's on anymore, but I want the Dominican, the greatest people that God ever created, Dominican people. I want Junior to go first.
Nah, listen.
Go ahead, brother.
Now, I just want to say one thing. You know,
Oh man,
I'm
I'm
Dominican,
sorry,
right?
Clem.
Born here.
I'm sorry, Clem. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother. I thank you so much for the super chat. Go ahead.
You know, I'm Dominican, born here, raised in the United States, raised in New York. My family left here for a better life. Just like most immigrants leave their country for a better life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're having this issue with a lot of illegals in the United States. I get it. But we have to look at it in a point of view where, okay, they need to be legal. I understand that. You know, but without immigrants, we cannot, you know, not keep going, but you know, we need in every country we need immigrants. America was, built on immigrants. You know, not to say that we don't need them, but let's make it different. Let's make it where they have to, you know, have their paperwork in order, you know, so they can, eventually move back to their country if the country gets better or whatever, you know. But just the way of going about it, just the way they go about it here in DR, which I don't like with Haitians. You know, you just can't put somebody in a cage and send them back to their country just like that.
Yeah.
You know, without having some type of um, process.
Yeah.
Because they're not doing no type of process here. They're just putting you in a van
And
and
just
they
load them up and take them
throwing
back.
them up and taking you back.
It's just a cycle.
You could be here legally, and they still throwing you back home.
Yeah.
You know. So my thing is, there has to be some type of a different way of you know
doing
removing
it
illegals
doing it
from
more classy and doing it better. I got you, brother. Thank you, bro.
exactly. You know, we're all
Hey,
human. First, we're all humans. All humans. We have to think about humanity first.
amen. Hey, easy. Final thoughts, brother.
Well, it was good to see you, John. I'm glad to see you doing better. You feeling better.
I am.
Um, everybody on the panel always learn good things from y'all. Let me say this: I am African American. My uncle did some research on our family, and he found documentation going back to the early 1700s, before America was America.
Mm-hmm.
My family has been here that long. My family is not immigrants. I am the descendant of American slaves. We built this country, and normally I would not have a problem with people trying to come here and make something of their life. But things just can't keep going that way when you have people in America who can barely make it and they're doing everything right. They got a job, a part-time job, and their rent is $2,000-3,000 on a one-bedroom, and you got three people staying in there. Not only that, certain people in America have gone too far with certain progressive policies. It is foundational to humanity. Humanity, no matter where you are in the world, you need a man and a woman. You can't tell me you all of a sudden we don't know what the difference is, or you can just change. You are male or female at birth, and you live with that through the rest of your life. We need to get back to bread and butter issues and just go back to being a great country. This stupid stuff that we're arguing over, pronouns, they, him, it. What is that? Come on, that's not what we're about. So that's what I hope to see. I'm very happy that Trump got elected. I did vote for him, and I am elated for what's coming down the pipe. If they smart, they'll go and leave. Because if they don't, he gonna take that back to they behind. Thank you, John. Later, y'all.
Later. Have a good night.
Go get
Good
your
night.
thump on.
Hey, final thoughts with Rico, and then we all gonna get off at the same time. Thank
Okay,
you,
sorry.
brother. Thank you. No, you good. Thank you. Man, that was powerful. Thank you, brother. Go ahead, Rico.
Yeah. I am glad that y'all are just drunk with joy behind y'all Lord King Trump. Uh, I just hope that everybody is comfortable. I know tonight's conversation was around immigration and it was an important conversation. And of course, nobody thinks the way that I think, and that's fine. But I tell you this, outside of immigration, Black Americans, your ass better get right and get tight because he coming after us too. Okay? So the one thing that troubles me is ever since his victory, and it was fair and square, and he deserved the next 4 years. Absolutely, I believe in that. But I've been around long enough to know people believe too much in this individualism. Oh, I got a good job, I got good money, I got it. But see, that's just not the way life is. We are a collective as a group of people, not just Black people, but just society as a whole. So just because something doesn't directly happen to me, it can happen to the person down the street or two people down the street, and it can have an effect on me. So I don't necessarily want to live in a world where the only person I worry about is me. Yes, I worry about myself and my family first, but I also do worry about my neighbor and my neighborhood and my community and my city, because if I'm well to do and everybody around me is suffering, it ain't long before it comes for my ass. That's just the way it works. None of us lives in a bubble. None of us are on an island. None of us is in a kingdom of our own. So if you don't think that people can do things at a higher level that can affect you, you best believe you're going to get your goddamn wake up call too. Because what I think I see coming, I think, unlike it's great, I actually want it to come. Unfortunately, America has to take its fucking medicine. But both sides is about to get a fucking of a lifetime. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it because mentally I'm prepared for it.
Hey, Kia say what coming after us? How, Rico?
Well, like I said, they said is some of these criminal justice or some of these legal issues that they're trying to put on the books. Again, like you said, as African Americans, you're going to see more states. Florida was the bulwark with taking out Black history. It's fucking history.
Man, bro, you're wrong. Okay. I'm sorry, John, but he's wrong. Rico, you're African American?
Yes.
I know John is. Yes, you are too. You know how much our people
go ahead.
Listen to you talk sometime. You know how much our people been through? We have a special relationship with the United States of America. We are a special and unique people. It's just the way it is. We are. We have been through so much. Mm-hmm. Our forebears have been through so much. I hate when I hear Black people today say, "Oh, we got it worse than what our ancestors had." We don't. We have it very good, and
Rico.
We should not shrink from this. No, he didn't. But I'm getting to what he's saying about Florida. There's nothing Donald Trump is going to do, or he said he's going to do, that as a Black man in the United States of America, whose family's been here since the 1700s, I'm scared of. I'm not scared of anything. What are we talking about? He's going to get rid of the illegals. You're not illegal.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's well said. Okay. Again, I said the state of Florida has removed African American studies. The state, not the federal government, the state. What I'm sitting there saying is that will start to roll over to other states because Donald Trump and his ideology is now the ideology of America. If white people say slavery make their children feel sad, take that shit out the books. In Texas, they're not even calling them slaves anymore. They're calling them some other kind of weird, goofy shit, a different word. Okay?
I understand that.
You see what I'm saying? These are
facts. But I know about that. But
right, you're actually happening. Now, I will say this. just this week, he won on November 5th. Just this week, what did they say went out around the nation that the FBI is already investigating? A bunch of
A
spam
text message.
bullshit, but a bunch of spam. I'm like, this motherfucker ain't even took office. And they're sending out hundreds of thousands of spam text messages all over the country to black people, telling them, get ready to take your ass back to the field to pick cotton.
So you blaming that on Donald Trump?
No, I'm saying it's an ideology. I believe America has always had a strong racist strain of people.
Yes.
America is racist as a motherfucker. And what I'm saying is he's telling them it's okay to be that way. And more of these motherfuckers are going to start shit with us. You're going to see cities, localities, and states start to fuck with black people because they feel empowered. I'm not saying he's telling them directly, but what you can do is you can set a national tone as to
I
what
agree.
is going to be accepted or not. And I'm sitting there saying, this man just won, and within 3 days, that shit ain't happening. I don't know how long, but more is to come.
So let me ask you this. You blaming that on him, but how about the council member who was a Democrat out in California who was being racist toward black people and Koreans and Jewish people? It was 3 of them. They were all Mexican Americans.
Yeah, that was wrong too. Absolutely. They all got, I think
His name is
they all got kicked
no,
out. Woman.
no, it was a woman and 2 men.
Right.
Yeah, it was in LA.
Yeah.
Yes.
They all got kicked
They didn't get kicked out. No, they didn't. They did not. His name is Kevin DeLeon. He's still in the city council.
Okay, well, you got to take that up with the people of LA. I know it's a huge story.
Yeah. So my point is, this racism that we're gonna have to face across the board. That's not Donald Trump being racist.
Donald Trump is racist.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Hey, shout out to Finding Love in the Dominican Republic, man. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother.
All I'm sitting there saying is that's not lost on me. I'm saying there's a lot more that's coming down the pipe.
But let me ask you this: was Donald Trump racist when he was working?
You broke up.
I think
was Donald.
We lost you easy. We lost you easy.
You can hear me now?
Now we can hear you. Go ahead.
I said, was Donald Trump racist when he was working with Al Sharpton? When he was spending money on Jesse Jackson's presidential campaign? Was he racist then?
He could have been. You can be racist and still work with people of color.
Okay. They wasn't calling him racist. They didn't start calling him racist until he ran for the Republican nomination.
Was he racist when he told those 5 black boys that they should be executed?
A lot of people were thinking that.
Was he or was he not? When he said that he wanted those 5 black boys to be executed, and even after the DNA evidence exonerated them, he still said they're guilty.
No, I don't think it was racism. Okay. I think it was just him trying to pander to, you know.
See what I'm saying? So it's both sides of it. So you base the Al Sharpton that he's not. I'll base the Central Park 5 that he is.
That's
see what I'm saying?
On that note, man, it's all love from the Dominican Ralph family. Easy, it's so good to hear you, Rico. All of y'all.
I know you've been drunk since the election.
Yeah. Yes, praise God.
Yeah. So hey, we all just wanted better for us. I know everybody on this channel. We wanted better for ourselves. We wanted better for our community and our families. So. It's all love and shout out.
I want them motherfuckers to get what they voted for. All of it.
There you go. Hey, listen, John,
you get what you voted for.
John, your family's from Louisiana. You know this means there's gonna be less crime in Louisiana now. You get rid of those illegals.
I hope. Well, we don't have, but I don't know. Nazi, you got me started now because Mexicans do not cause any crimes in Louisiana.
But see, that's John. That's why I said you got to stop saying Mexicans, because it's not the Mexicans that's the problem.
We don't have nobody else here but Mexicans.
And y'all
Venezuelans.
We don't have Venezuelans here.
Y'all Negroes. Y'all Negroes.
We don't have Venezuelans here.
He just don't want to say it's his people.
I'll send it to. I'll send you the stories, John. I'll send you the stories.
We got somebody else that just popped up. Hey, find it, love. What's going on, brother?
He just don't want to say it's his people.
I'll send you the stories, John. I'll send you.
Hey, brother, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? How's everybody in the panel and
Good. We
now?
was getting ready to wrap up.
I know. I'll be quick.
No, you good. I'm gonna go ahead and let you talk and give you your 2 cents, brother. Thank you.
What's up, my boy Rico up in here? You know we go way back, fight all the time. But yo, I'm from New York, and I saw firsthand, and also I was driving the school bus and everything. So I was dropping off some of these migrants to their hotels in Manhattan and all that. So I got like a firsthand look on the crime that the illegals brought in, and the instability. They were having the motor conchos, bringing those getting free motorbikes, and then robbing people, and like they did in Colombia, like they do in Venezuela, rolling up on open restaurants and taking their watches and all that kind of stuff. So they brought all those criminality to the U.S. and then they plus killing American citizens, killing young girls, and everybody subjected to be victimized. Especially, you don't know how many terrorists. What happened after 9/11? It was such a big thing about the hidden cells and the terrorists coming here. How many of you think this hitting right now is just waiting for the moment to strike the U.S. because of the open borders? When that happens, and then everybody gonna say what? The Democrats gonna be like, oh, they're gonna be like hiding, right? They're not gonna say nothing. But they wasn't saying nothing during the campaign because they know that was wrong. They know it's wrong. What's that? American people, for the most part, was upset with these open borders. I knew they were going to lose the election for the most part. I didn't know how much.
Flip, did you vote for Trump?
I don't vote. I'm neutral, but I'm pro Trump.
Oh my.
I'm pro Trump because it's been like my religious stance when I was younger.
Why you ain't vote for him then?
I don't vote for no man because man, you can't vote for man, so you can't catch me on that. Or why you voted for
the mayor? Do you vote for the mayor of New York City? You vote for Greg Adams?
I don't vote for no man. I said I don't vote for nobody.
So you don't vote at all?
I vote for God. Because man, I don't vote for man because man will let you down. So,
God ain't on the ballot.
I know that, so I would take the couch. I vote for the couch.
Yes, he was.
But at the same
time,
God
was on the ballot.
At the same time, I'm pro.
You like that, Rico?
I'm pro Trump policies, and forget about that racist nonsense because guess what? The Democrats is the most. Listen to Malcolm X. Go look at that Malcolm X video where he talked about the liberals and how they're the most racist people, that you can't trust the liberals. You can't trust the Democrats. They're the one that separate the family between the man and the woman. It's a black family. They push that gay wokeism. They push the LGBT. They push the feminism, and that feminist is what destroyed destroying America right now because of feminism.
Trump
is anti beta male.
So Flip, they
don't have no respect for alpha males. But
let me ask you a question. So you want the illegals and the gays deported?
No, gays can't deport the gays, but I wish that was on the ballot, and then they'd be out of here too. But
okay. So what else? You want the illegals? You want the gays? Anybody else?
And Uncle Tom's like you, they could go.
Okay, me.
They could go too.
Do I go with the illegals or do I go with the gays?
Yeah. You could be all right with that, with the fruities, and you can be sitting right there in the boat, going back on the plane next to them.
I already say I'm a heathen.
Hey, with that, brother, we got to get off, man. All right. Hey,
I try to catch your show next time, though, bro.
Hey, man, yeah, next time we'll post early next time. But hey, love all y'all, man. Y'all, thank y'all so much. Y'all be blessed and be safe. Y'all be safe, brother. Y'all take care.
All right, thank you. Later.
Shout out to my channel, everybody in the comments. Hey, love all y'all, man. Thank y'all so much for being a part of the channel. See y'all later. Peace.